What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. I am one of your two hosts, Dos Adam, and across from me in the multiverse, CM Charles? I guess? I don't know. I had a whole other plan for this, and we changed that at the last minute, so it won't be that way. But you know, this is Double A Adamantium Adam. I'm CM Chuck, and this is Just Another Friday Night. Double A, do we sound muffly?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Anybody out there, let us know if we sound muffly. We're burying the lead here a little bit with the ticker at the bottom. We want to let everyone know right up ahead, and I'll say it again before we really get into it, but tonight is a spoiler-laden episode. If you have not seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we're spoiling the shit out of it tonight, right? Double A? Double A, how are you doing?
Doing good. It's hot.
It is very
super hot down here in Texas.
Very much so, man, and I don't think that this is the worst of it. So,
no, it's not.
It's hot, and it's going to get hotter. So, yeah. Let's see. Yo. This movie was pretty entertaining, despite what Anthony says. That sounds like good old Jerry D in the house. Jerry D, welcome, brother. Thank you for being with us last week. Hey, Jerry, if you can hear us, do we sound okay, or do we sound muffly? I sound a little muffly in my own headset, but that may just be me. Obviously, you know, Jerry, you were with us last week, and we had audio, what happened. But I think it turned out okay. Thanks for joining, Jared. We'll hopefully get to hang out. I know you had some really strong opinions on the movie as well, and including providing me with a bit of an education afterwards. So I enjoyed that thoroughly as well. Jason in the house says, damn, Rose, today, not Friday. Yeah, it definitely is not, Jason, but thank you for being here anyway, man. Sorry that we're a day early, but we just couldn't wait to talk about this movie, right, Double A?
Yeah, we couldn't wait.
And Rizzo says, what up? Also, we are...
What's up, Rizzo?
Entertaining Foxy Roxy tomorrow for her one of her favorite days that occurs, I guess, a couple times throughout the year, right? Friday the 13th. Yeah. So, Jason, before you ask what's going on this weekend, tomorrow at the Pika Pika flea market located off of Southwest Military Drive, they were going to have like a little mini horror.
Like a horror thing at the Pika Pika.
Yeah, so I think that there'll be people dressed up and people selling horror-themed merchandise. So go out there and check that out, and maybe you'll run into Double A and myself. We'll be out there hanging out. Who else we got here in the house, Double
A? Corey's in the house. He said the movie was awesome and very different from what we're used to. And then Rizzo complimenting me on my shirt. Thanks, Rizzo.
Yeah, I love that shirt, man. Great shirt, Double A. I saw that one quite a bit on
I'm sure.
Monday.
Tuesday,
I want to talk about
right?
that.
No, Monday.
I want to talk about that. Really fun. If you guys saw our pictures, if you see my current profile picture on Facebook, but also a picture on our Just Another Friday Night page and our Instagram. I had the distinct pleasure of going over to Dragon's Lair comic store here in San Antonio off Medical, and going to meet one of your favorite artists and mine,
yes.
Mr. Rob Liefeld, co-creator of Deadpool, co-creator of who else?
Cable, Domino, Shatterstar.
Would you say X-Force?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I would say so, right?
The whole tone from New Mutants really did change under his watch. Mm-hmm. And it became an X-Men book.
Yeah.
a full-fledged X-Men book, and Cable ended up becoming like a third leader at that time.
Yeah, I agree.
It was Magneto, Xavier, and Cable. X-Force just blew up. It was one of the hottest books at the time. He's created, Chapel from, if you've seen him in Spawn. Prophet. There's a movie right now that's trying to be made with Jake Gyllenhaal signed in for that lead of Prophet. Mm-hmm. He's created Supreme, kind of like another Superman, kind of like knockoff almost. But he had a good run with under Alan Moore, writing Supreme. So Youngblood, Brigade, all that good stuff.
So you said Jake Gyllenhaal's attached to Prophet?
Right now, yeah, there's reports coming out that they're trying to make Prophet, John Prophet, one of his characters,
I've seen him, yeah. I've got some stuff here to show, one of them being him, because a guy in front of me in line was talking about that with him, and he said, man, hoping this would become a movie, and he goes, don't hope too long, because it's going to be coming.
Okay.
He goes, we got an actor sign attached. He goes, if it falls through, he would be surprised.
Okay.
So that was a little bit of an insider scoop from the man himself, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, he was kind of like, you can almost say he was kind of like out of the Image 7. Mm-hmm. He pretty much has created probably the most impactful creations.
It sounds like it, especially on the Marvel
Yeah, because
world.
like McFarlane, he has like Venom, which is, great.
Yeah.
Or David Michelinie, whatever you want to
right.
say, who really created Venom, I don't know.
Right.
Jim Lee. I think his big one is like Omega Red, Gambit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I mean, no one really has stuck out like Deadpool has. I mean, Deadpool's everywhere now.
A huge fan favorite. I mean, like I said, he was like one of the first guys from Marvel to come out in that Fortnite game, which is super popular. Then later on, they added Cable and Domino.
And then all the lore with Cable. I mean, they're still doing stories.
I mean, that's
Cable,
one of my favorite. They could do a whole X-Men series or set of movies around the Summerses. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Badass.
He gave them storylines up the ass with Cable. I mean, so many people have taken these two characters and taking them to bigger heights, So
comments coming in fast and furious, you guys. I know you're eager to get to the topic. So let me read the comics not related to our topic tonight, and then we'll carry on here. We'll skip those two. We'll come back to that, and we'll come back. Let's see what we got here. Is this Jerry or Anthony? It says Liefield's X-Force. That's gotta be Jerry. Liefield's X-Force was rad. He totally revamped the New Mutants.
Yeah, because I read New Mutants, and trust me, it was not a great book.
And we got two people jump. I think that might be Jerry again. Youngblood, Rizzo at the same time. Youngblood, great jump ins, guys. Anthony, I definitely want to get to your comments, brother. So I hope you're sticking around. Excuse me. Then someone says, "Yeah, Deadpool is huge." Cable versus Strife. I mean, Strife. Gosh, that was so awesome. Can we get that on the screen, Double A? What do you think?
Strife. I mean, golly, what a great character.
Great character, man. That's Jerry. Okay, thanks, Jerry. Sorry, since you're joining us via the group, I can't see your name. It comes in as Facebook user. So sadly, like I'm seeing you and Anthony both under just like a generic heading. So feel free to put your name at the end of the comments, and I'll happily read that. So quickly, I'll show you guys what I got signed from Mr. Liefeld as part of his VIP package. There, I was so happy because my nephew was really excited because he's a huge Carnage fan. So this book, I guess what they call this, like did they call it a naked cover, I believe, or virgin cover, because it doesn't have like a thing. So his signature at the top. But yeah, my nephew, a huge fan of Carnage and Deadpool. He thinks Deadpool's so funny. So that was cool that he got that. And his other big guy he loves is Venom. So I was glad that my nephew got this one again with Deadpool there. Again, these are what they call virgin
and that's what Rizzo said, virgin variant.
Virgin variants, yeah. Here's one with Cable, Wolverine
kind
at the bottom.
An updated New Mutants.
Yeah, and my nephew says this is Venom Pool here, I think. Yeah, so Venom it's Pool. I guess like the Venom symbiote on Deadpool. Of course, you just got Deadpool by himself, but in like the X-Force uniform, right, when it's part of that kind of elite hit squad.
Yes, that's right.
So that's pretty cool. So if you're not watching us, you're listening to us only, guys, go check out the video on YouTube or on Spotify where you can see this. This book was not a part of the VIP package, but it was for sale at Dragonfly. For sale,
yes. I heard that announcement that they were giving them for free.
Oh, well, if you bought this one, the autograph was free on it. So, yeah, I was like in line and grabbed one of that. And here's we
that's
mentioned
cool.
Prophet. I could see Jake Gyllenhaal pulling this off. He's got the hair, right? So very, very cool. And then I brought just a couple of classic covers. Double A has these usually on the wall. You think you might have moved them.
I moved them for Doctor Strange.
But yeah, some of the classic Rob Liefeld. And this one says Liefeld and McFarlane. So McFarlane did the Wolverine.
So McFarlane would ink.
Over. Perfect.
So that's what that is. Like Liefeld is the artist, and then the inker will be on the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. That's an awesome pairing.
I love that.
Liefeld and McFarlane. I mean, God,
yeah, totally. I mean, that's like images it gets with it. And then you look at this Wolverine and this Cable, and it's like, man, it's kind of like the iconic images in your mind of those characters. And then again, here you go. You've got Wolverine and Cable, and I love Wolverine in the brown and brown and gold costume. Yeah. Again, this kind of like Mohawk looking Cable, very, very rad. Love these covers. I just wanted to show those off. I did not get those signed because they were a little bit out of my price range, but I did give Mr. Liefeld a sticker for our podcast. I let him know that he could scan the center on our latest design created by Justin Martin.
And it's not just like him. It's kind of like the image guys. Like, I don't know how much McFarlane charges. I'm sure he charges a lot. I know Jim Lee has packages like 3 comics for like $99 or, his packages go up too. Yeah. So it's like these, some of the image guys kind of like, they kind of go up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Hey, get what you're worth, right? Double A. If the stuff's in demand, they know you're going to sell it. I mean, just a few weeks ago, and sadly, of course, if we hadn't said it yet, and I don't know if we did last week, but no, we did it because it happened Monday. George Perez passed. So, guys, go back a couple episodes, listen to our episode about George Perez. It seemed like he really lived out his last days the way he wanted.
I think he announced it in December, so he only lived about 5 months longer.
But it seemed like his wife was posting and just saying he was visiting with fans, fellow artists, saying goodbye. It seems like he could not have gone out in a better way. And of course, I did tell Mr. Leafoot his condolences, because obviously the guy followed George Perez to cons and would hang out with him. He gave him such a knowledge, and I'd let him know that his episode of Robservations was a big inspiration for our episode we did tribute to George Perez. I listened to it in preparation of that episode and was just blown away by the story. So let's cheers, Double A, and rest in peace to the icon, Mr. George Perez.
And his work, just like Neil Adams, is going to stay up here for probably the rest of the year. So.
Awesome. Love that, man. Great move, Double A. That's great. Let's see. Jerry says, that's dope. Riz says, X-Force. X-Force Venompool, that's dope. Venompool always made me laugh, Jerry says. Rizzo says, go ahead, Double A.
Shelby did a lot of work in Deadpool Bad Blood. I think it came out as a hardcover in 2016. It is a hardcover. I did see it at Heroes as a hardcover.
Badass.
And then Jerry says cable guns were always ridiculously large.
Yeah, man, you got to have the big
big
guns, big pecs.
I think like Cable too, his guns are fucking huge, but I think Cable too is like drawn like as a 6'7" kind of guy too.
Oh,
almost,
nice.
You know,
yeah.
like he's
towering.
He's a towering figure in those.
How big is Josh Brolin? Not that big.
No,
right?
no,
He's kind of
no.
a smaller guy.
Yeah,
actually.
he is.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Cool. Double A, any other news? I mean, obviously, I'm glad we got to talk about George Perez again, guys. Please go check out our episode. Check out Rob Liefeld's episode of Robservations.
Yeah, he just had reposted it too, so it's like right in the front and center.
Yeah, he was also super, super nice. My sister kept beaming about how nice he was. Nice to my nephew.
It kind of sucks too because yesterday his mom passed away.
Who?
Rob Liefeld. So,
really?
Yeah,
oh my
gosh. That was kind of like
so
pretty
sad,
heavy. So.
Man. Well, sincere condolences to the
sincere
Liefeld family.
Yeah.
I know you said he was here on tour because one of his kids.
Yes, his kids is graduating from Austin. I think next week.
I think someone there told me Baylor. They went.
Yeah,
I think it was a daughter.
Yeah,
I think a daughter went to Baylor. I think so.
Well, on his podcast, he said his son.
Oh, it might have been his son.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood. But it's like congratulations, but then also sad news at the same time.
Because man, if you listen to his podcast, man, I mean, it was a rough. His dad battled cancer for so long. It was even in a 9-month coma, and they told him to unplug him, but they kept with it. And for a mom, it had to have been a lot. A whole lot. So
I mean, you always hope, right? And you pray and you keep faith, and you never know, right? Because gosh, can you imagine? I mean, like, I know sounds kind of ridiculous, but what if, like, tomorrow they release some wonder drug or whatever that you just get a shot and it makes you better? It's like, I mean, like, you would feel terrible if you unhook somebody, you know what I mean? So, it's very crazy. Jerry, now I can see your name, so I don't know what you've done differently, but it's amazing that you did that. So maybe you switched to watching us via the page.
Rizzo says, yeah, Josh Brolin was super small for that casting. That's why they joked about it in Deadpool 2.
Yeah, nice.
You know what? Rob Liefeld has loved his casting, though. He said he loved it. He was blown away by Josh Brolin.
His toughness was fucking on point.
I was still hoping it was going to be the dude from Avatar.
The guy from Avatar. Yeah, Stephen Lang. It would have been pretty good. Yeah, he definitely had the look, the gruffness.
And then Jerry says, Texas schools, man, good stuff. And he goes, he switched over.
Great job, Jerry. We appreciate it, man. I mean, like, I don't care where you watch from, really. I mean, but, it's good to see you guys' names. All right, guys, we don't want to take up too much time because we want to get right into this whopper of a film. Oh, my goodness,
yeah. Some loved it. Some kind of hated it. Some were in the middle about it.
Yeah, man.
It was crazy. I loved it. I really loved it. I thought it was a great movie.
Again, we're not burying the lead here. We're telling you right away. It's a mad world where Marvel fans are divided. We've been told we're DC guys. We did Marvel 2 weeks in a row here, and I can't remember what the week before. We heard Harry Potter the week before. And what are we doing next week? No, that's not Marvel. But hey, 2 weeks in a row, Marvel. We're covering their big stuff.
Look, we love just everything. We love Dark Horse. We love Image. We love DC. We love Marvel.
We love comic books.
Yeah, we just love good stories.
Superheroes and sometimes not so superheroes.
Myself and CM have comics from everywhere. Dynamite, IDW. I mean everywhere. So.
Some things we regret having. Some things I have that I'm like, I wish I didn't have it, but I do. Free comic book day can be a real bitch. So. Guys, so it's a mad world. If you don't know, if you're under a rock, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness came out last Thursday or Friday. It fucking blew me away. I mean,
185 million over a 3-day weekend. It's already past 500 million worldwide. I mean, golly.
Yeah. So let's get right into these comments that were already coming in fast and furious about it. So again,
Corey, Jerry loved it. Anthony, though, had a very different opinion on it, though.
A very strong opinion. Adam, Anthony, is this Anthony's first comment? I want to make sure.
Yeah, that was it.
First
Yes.
one. Okay. Oh
Yes.
shit. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. Anthony says, "Want me to go double A?"
Bottom tier MCU.
Whew.
They completely undid Wanda's arc from WandaVision.
Yeah.
She may be able to turn on a dime in the comics. It doesn't work in films. That's why they're called adaptations.
Mm-hmm.
She deserved either a second season or a solo film showing her descent into full-on villain prior to this film, because she came across as a one-note, unlivable, mustache twirling in this one.
Oh.
It was infuriating.
Mustache twirling. Yes, because you love her in WandaVision, right? I mean, what can you say about that? And I want to let everyone know where I stand on this right away. So, when it comes to the great Wanda Maximoff here,
Scarlet Witch.
the Scarlet Witch. So,
Damn.
there you go, right there, right?
All right.
So, you'll never look at her the same again. So, yeah, and as much as this costs, I probably shouldn't be wearing it on camera here, but just so we know that we know what team I'm on, despite my T-shirt here, you know what I mean?
And then he had a second opinion. Also,
Okay.
Doctor Strange is so passive in his own movie. He was in control of nothing. Wanda and America caused a conflict. America and Wanda ended it. Nothing he did had any consequence in the end. For a film titled Doctor Strange, it was a big disservice to him as it was to Wanda and Elizabeth Olsen. Now, on that one, you can also say the same thing about Captain America Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people always call that one Avengers 2.5.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
You know, so I mean, you can kind of go that way too. Spider-Man, I mean, that was what just really it blew up because it was a love letter, you know, to Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, people went because they wanted to see those two Spider-Mans, honestly, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and to see the old villains, you know, to see Dr. Octopus, to see Willem Dafoe. I mean, you can kind of say that about a lot of these kind of Marvel movies.
Sure. And
you
I'll
know?
say this: I talked to Anthony and Jerry in chat afterwards, and one of the things I said to Anthony is, I said, you know, and I said it in our group as well, because he posted up several articles that had very strong opinions. I don't know, the lopsidedness is bothering me, but you can see my tiara here. One of the things that I said, Double A, was that if you look at one of the most favorite before Into the Spider-Verse and before we saw obviously No Way Home, the most beloved Spider-Man movie was probably Spider-Man 2, right?
What's the
story arc?
Yeah.
You know, we see, again, Sam Raimi at the helm, right? You see Otto, you know, eventually, he becomes villainous, succumbs to villainy and the arms and all that, and wants this power in the palm of his hand, and then he ultimately redeems himself and becomes a beloved character. It's like, it's essentially kind of the same plot in this one, or whatever, but again, I said it in our group. I was like, I also loved when Star Wars did that with Darth Vader. It's not a new idea. It's not nothing that, and it's about how you present the material.
I mean, it's kind of like Anakin was straight up Jedi until he started having visions that Padme was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jedi couldn't help him, so he goes to somewhere where he can get the power to stop that.
Sure.
So.
And again, it's like, so I went to see this with my entire family, as we do with most Marvel movies. So it's like my dad, my sister, my girlfriend, and my nephew, and my mom. Did I say that? My mom, my dad, my sister, my girlfriend, and my nephew. Yeah, so there's 6 of us. There's 6. Everyone loved it. They all liked it. Again, my mom is like the most casual viewer, as is Jess. They did not watch What If, they did not watch WandaVision or whatever. They just thought of it as a movie. My sister walked out having seen WandaVision and said, I did not feel for the America girl. She was like, I was 100% with Wanda. She's like, I have a little boy and I would do anything to, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I did say this to Anthony. I said, one of the things I do agree with is that they did not make me care enough about America Chavez. There wasn't enough there. She was a little bit funny. There were some moments with her and Doctor Strange, but I was like, because I watched this whole series with Wanda and saw Elizabeth Olsen really pour her soul into that, you know, I think back to the cute scenes when she's eating cereal and she's glitching and she's just this, you know, mom in trouble or whatever. There's nothing that I could dislike about her or whatever, despite that they tried to make her villainous in this. It was like, I still wanted there to be something on the other side for it.
She was a straight up villain in this one. And
yeah. I mean, you know.
I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like that descent. It was like, again, I mentioned it, you know, in this one, we didn't really know she was the big bad. We kind of theorized it in the trailers.
I didn't know, honestly, because I only saw the first trailer where he's asking for help. I never saw the rest of the trailers. So I was like, oh, cool, it's going to be them two teaming up.
Good move. So you enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I did. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, hey, what the fuck's going on?
I had unintentionally glanced enough theories where people were like, "Oh, the Black Finger is like Agatha," and I was like, "Really?
Okay.
Is that gonna plan?" And I was like, "Nah." I kept thinking it was gonna be something else. I even thought it might be that what if Doctor Strange, the good Doctor Strange versus the kind of the bad Doctor Strange. But of course, we didn't get that. We just get Wanda fully
Well, we
fledged.
kind of did.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, we did get some of that, right?
we
Yeah,
did
sure,
see
for
the
sure.
What If Doctor
It touched
Strange.
on that. Did we get all the comments about this?
No.
Okay, let's go. I want you guys to have your say. So I
Rizzo
want to
real
read
quick
these
said,
live.
I like the Kevin Nash rumor. He did have the size and look for Cable. I don't know if you remember, but
I
Nash,
do remember that. Yeah, we talked to him about that.
Yes.
And so
Jerry says totally. Rizzo says,
great comments here, guys. They're coming in fast and fierce. We appreciate that. This is the conversation we were hoping to have with all of
glad
you.
you're here, Jerry. You can speak for me because I entirely agree with you on Doctor Strange. Jerry says already $500 million. Anthony has a wrong opinion.
Jerry straight up there.
Boo Anthony.
Rizzo booing.
Jerry says it did work in the film. They set it up perfectly at the end of WandaVision. She is one note because she's literally being possessed by a demon. Anthony says you just ruined my image of Hurt Chuck. You're gonna haunt my dreams. Jerry says, I think the worst part of the movie was the CGI. Pacing was a little off and probably needed more time to breathe, but overall strong entry. It delivered. Aaron in the house, he says, I want some power.
What up, Aaron B?
Jerry says she can turn on a dime. I mean, anyone can when they're being influenced by a demonic book. Corey says it was fast-paced and original. Was supposed to be another 30 minutes, but had to be made. For what it's worth, movie hit perfectly for time they had.
Agree with you 100% on this one, Corey. Yeah.
Jerry says, let's look at it from a mental health point of view. Depression is mostly just coped with, not cured, and most can tell you that attacks come suddenly.
Yes.
Yeah, she was remorseful and got over her grief for that time, but it came back. The dark hole literally was messing with her. Jerry did say, 40 minutes work cut.
Can't wait to see that.
Aaron comes in and says, what superpower would you love to have if you can have one?
Mind reading, Aaron.
Teleportation, so I can just go anywhere I want. Jerry says...
What would yours be, Aaron?
Jerry says, definitely original genre for Marvel. Allie in the house, she comes in and says, boo, Wanda.
Whoa, hold on, Allie. Did you watch WandaVision? I want to know first. And did you watch What If? Just
and
curious.
I think with you being a mom, you might have different opinions.
I think so. A much different opinion.
And then Joe's in the house.
Joe is in the house. What's up, boys?
What's up, boys?
Joe,
What's
huge
up,
congrats
Joe?
to your son making
Yeah,
it into OLLU. That is Our Lady of the Lake University. Huge congrats to J-Mart. Wings up. Am I doing it right? Or am I doing the Wu-Tang? I might be doing the Wu-Tang. Shit. I don't know. How
That looks like Penguin now.
This is just when I do
Batman
like
Returns.
when I'm trying to do a bird in the shadow puppets.
That's what I said, like
I
Batman
got a good one
Returns.
going over here. I like. Yeah. But anyway, congratulations to him.
And then
We
Joe
look forward to his
says-
baseball career there.
Joe says Raimi went Raimi on it.
Raimi did definitely go Raimi on it. It was
big time.
He was not going to not put his signature on that. He's getting to be in the Marvel U
Honestly, I've always thought the Marvel U, the MCU, got their inspiration a lot from the Spider-Man 3 films, honestly. Every time there was like a dark moment in Spider-Man, he would always come up with a joke. I mean, honestly, I think the formula came from the Spider-Man. They saw the Spider-Man formula and were like, you know what, we can actually use that, more so than any of the other Marvel entries.
Allie says, yes, I did see it. She says...
Not on her side.
Not on her side. Wow, very strong opinions, Allie. I want to hear more from you on that, especially as a mom pending to be. Joe says, the woo works, though. Up the Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Let's see. Jerry says, thank you, boys, for always supporting. Absolutely, man. Again, congrats to him. We look forward to seeing great things from him. Jerry, it was Evil Dead meets Marvel. The dialogue was pretty early Raimi as well. Yeah, some of that was there was. Now I did agree with Anthony on this. There was some CGI stuff that I thought was a little bit not tight, which I also felt in Moon Knight, which I was like, wait, is Marvel on a budget all of a sudden? What the hell happened? Like, these two CGIs did not look that tight. They could have been tightened up a little bit. That's being picky, though. Jack in the house. Jack says, wait, it's Friday? What the fuck? Here I was at work thinking it was Thursday. Go ahead and give yourself tomorrow off, Jack, just because you think it's Friday. Why not? Aaron says, I want super jizz as a power.
What would that do for you,
I don't
Aaron?
know. That would just hurt the ladies you're with, I would think. So maybe not the best power. Let's rethink it. Jerry says, yeah, the CGI was a bit wonky. And maybe it was meant to be double A. What did you feel about CGI? Would you...
Honestly, I can't even remember, honestly.
It was just some
Honestly,
little
I can't
things,
remember.
kind of like when he animated as the zombie Strange, you were kind of like, okay, it's a little. It was
But
Evil
that looked like
Dead-ish.
Evil Dead.
It was
Yeah,
Evil
that
Dead-ish,
looked like
yeah.
Evil Dead.
And then like the big creature with the eye that we got to know from What If was like, I kind of was like, ooh, you look really like computery. Like I can tell that you're like not really there. So it was kind of a little bit hard, you know.
I was okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, again, I got over it quickly. Okay, Double A. So let's hit hard on some of the things. Were there things that I want to hear? There things that you didn't like. Were there?
What I didn't like.
How did you feel about the America Chavez character?
I was fine with it. I was fine. It was a cool character that they introduced with a cool power.
Mm-hmm.
She can cross universes. That's pretty damn cool. I don't think there's been a character that just has that power. We have the reality warping dudes. We have Franklin. We have, Rachel. We have the Omega level mutants. But I think the first time we're seeing someone that can actually crack through.
I saw
multiverse.
A post. It might have been in the Friday Night Faithful, but someone referred to her as a Nexus character, and I'd not heard that term. But the only other one I could think of would be maybe Franklin.
Franklin. Oh man, I don't know, because Franklin is just like this supreme fucking dude. That's why I don't think anyone has really written him, because it's just so hard to write.
I'm sure that's difficult to write. Interesting. Again, I thought that she was like a MacGuffin to me. She was like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. She was moving the story along because she had that power, but I didn't really care about her. I didn't get to know her. I was there for Strange and Wanda. That's what I was there for. And I was like, okay, had she have died, I would have not been that affected by her death.
I think I would have, depending on how it would have went.
I felt as though
because it showed. I mean, right off the bat, it kind of made you think like, holy shit, like we see this other Strange. Mm-hmm. They're racing for the Book of Ashanti, and he's trying to do his best to protect her, but then he starts seeing her powers. It's kind of like, oh shit,
Well, where do you stand on that, Double A? It seemed like in that moment, Strange was going to make one of these decisions that it was the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah, and there's always that battle. I don't know, man. Honestly, I mean, it's just like, damn.
Yeah, she is someone's daughter, but it's like, are you going to risk the lives of billions? I don't know. I mean, I kind of was like, okay, he's making this choice reluctantly. They always seem,
but as the movie went along too, it's kind of like it seemed like every Doctor Strange always went to this wrong kind of direction.
Right. Well, that arrogance is really up there. You know what I mean? And who's another arrogant guy that was always trying to do the right thing? Tony. Yeah, exactly. Stark was always like, it was like essentially his fuck ups caused a lot of the shit that happened or whatever. Now, earlier, Anthony called this movie lower tier MCU. Now, I like it better than Iron Man 2. Oh, I like it better than Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 2 and 3. I like it better than Ant-Man and the Wasp. I like it better than Thor. This is me, Thor 2. And a lot of people, see, this is probably where my movie for Anthony, Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of Ragnarok, even though that's like a lot of people's favorite. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Ragnarok.
I get you. I mean, I would say that, I don't know if I liked it better than Ragnarok, but I put it like right there with Ragnarok. But I also like The Dark World. But to me, it's easy to say. I liked it better than Shang-Chi. I liked it better than Eternals. I liked it better than, like I said.
Yeah, that one for me would be lower tier.
Yeah.
Eternals and Shang-Chi. People were raving about Shang-Chi when I saw it. I couldn't get it. I didn't get
it. Didn't punch that hard for me.
Yeah, I mean,
that's no punching joke about but.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get with Shang-Chi. Everyone was saying that was the greatest Marvel movie ever at one point. I was like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. I walked out of that with Jess, and we both were like, "Oh, that was cool."
I still haven't seen it though, and I still haven't had the need to see it again.
Yeah, it was just like a good Saturday afternoon matinee. It wasn't like anything special. I didn't want to run out and buy a copy. I wasn't like, "Oh fuck, I can't wait to do a show about this." Like, you'll know because we do a show about it.
I mean, I like Strange. Strange is kind of like one of the last characters I was buying. When I was really buying comics, he was like one of the last characters I was buying. I've always loved the idea of the multiverse. I've always loved how Strange is always kind of like, he's never been a big seller, but when he's around, shit's gonna happen. He's always been that kind of character.
Absolutely.
Like Iron Man, we weren't big fans of Iron Man. He was the lead in the West Coast Avengers. Who the fuck gave a fuck about the West Coast?
I'm like, who's your second Wonder Man?
But whenever there is a big event, you're like, oh, Iron Man's here.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that deal.
I always thought of the Avengers as like a big three. Like, you don't have the Avengers unless you have Cap, Thor, and Iron Man.
That's what I'm saying.
And even then, Iron Man was like the third guy. You know what I mean? It's
But still,
like,
it was kind of like he was important. He knew he was important.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he was there. You know.
Yeah, it's funny because like when we talk about like the Spurs big three, right? It's like Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker or whatever. Which really, it's like, you know, a lot of people liked Ginobili better or whatever, but he was the guy coming off the bench or whatever. But I like, you know, because of his popularity, he was kind of like the Iron Man or whatever. Where I guess your Thor is like Tony Parker, which is kind of like, okay, he's not, you know, quite that caliber or whatever, but you know, that's what you got. You know what I mean? So what else do we got here?
It's coming in quick.
It's coming in really quick, which we like. We love that. Let's see.
Well, this is just another Friday night podcast, not the JATN podcast. You're throwing me off. Jerry says the Illuminati were rad though.
Very rad.
Same when Wanda, girl from the ring, is walking all weird.
Oh,
that part,
yeah, that was very cool. I like that. Was very spooky. I could feel that we're going for that vibe, and I dug it.
Franklin Richards for the win. I mean,
yeah,
Franklin, golly.
They would call him Pancho Richards in San Antonio.
Jerry says America's character was the weakest, but I still felt compassion for her. See, that's the thing, though. It was something about it. That
Okay.
It just, yeah.
I guess I felt a little bit that the compassion was being forced on me, and I was like,
I didn't feel that, though. I didn't feel that. Jerry says, quote, "We don't trade lives."
Ooh, very nice, Jerry.
He says
Very
Strange
nice.
has always been borderline evil. And then Jerry says you can't trust Anthony's MCU opinions. He doesn't like Winter Soldier. Ooh.
Oh, wait.
Man.
Wait, Captain America the Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
And now that's lauded as one of the greatest Marvel movies, let alone comic book movies. Wow. It's always up there. That's a true espionage, superhero, on the ground soldier, you know, Tinker Tailor Soldier spy type movie right there, Anthony. That's a hard one to chew on, my friend.
Joe says he really got to get another watching. And,
yes, I'm with you on that, Joe. Let's do IMAX, brother. I'm there.
And Jerry says, remember when he merged with Zom during World War Hulk? Yeah, Strange was trying to get stronger, but Hulk just beat the shit out of him.
I think he crushed his hands, right? His spell casting hands. The Hulk was just like...
Yeah, you couldn't beat World War Hulk. Jerry said he dug Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I dug it too. It was fine. I was like, okay. I dug it like the way I dug like Mark for Death or like, you know, Hard to Kill. I don't know why I thought of two Seagal movies, but
Richard in the house. What's up, Rich?
Richie Rich.
He said he loved it. Just was expecting more. All the rumors were making it seem like it was going to be crazier than No Way Home.
Yeah, it did have a lot of hype, Rich. I agree with you. But I don't know that anything was going to top No Way Home.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we're getting there was a lot in the pipeline quick. So it's like, oh man, this didn't live up to No Way Home, but there was no way that it was. It was like, and also No Way Home was so white hot that it's like we didn't have enough cooling off of a period, you know, to be hyped up by this, you know.
Admittedly, I only cared about Shang-Chi when he joined the Avengers for Hickman's run.
Very nice.
I think that was the problem, people's expectations.
Great post today, Jerry, in the Friday Night Faithful, with kind of having, you know, the classic we've seen. People's expectations for No Way Home, people's expectations for Endgame was like, you know, everybody, John Wick's there, Darkseid's there, the Justice League's there. It's like, come on, guys, we're not going to get all that. You know what this felt like? And it did very well, AA? It was a Doctor Strange sequel. Yeah. It did that perfectly. Mm-hmm. And it was a good sequel to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
It's like those two movies would go good in a box set.
Joe says, I liked America. I know someone who really likes America. And then Joe says, I like Iron Man 2 and 3. All right, Joe.
Words 789 says, yo.
I don't know.
And then they also say, I just want to say, what is it you want to say, Words 789, watching on YouTube?
Jerry said, Hulk did crush his hands. Just saying Strange isn't above using any kind of magic, even evil, to win.
Damn.
Joe says, also the Batman raising the bar for superhero movies.
You know what?
Think so, Joe.
I like this movie better than the Batman.
Yeah,
I could say that easily right now.
I say that with Doctor Strange and Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't get me wrong. I liked it. I like Robert Pattinson. He's probably my favorite in a while as Batman. But I wouldn't say that would raise the bar. I say when Batman Begins and Dark Knight came out, those raised the bar. Big time.
Definitely big time.
The
Word
movie's
7.
alright, but the ending brought it down 7 out of 10.
Okay. And you know what? Earlier, Jerry said he gave it a really solid 7. When I was done and someone asked me a 1 out of 10 ranking, I said an 8. I was like, I'm very fine with it being an 8.
And then Jerry said, same here, I liked it better in Batman 2.
I mean, there you go right there.
It's
I mean,
not
like,
bad.
and I liked the Batman.
Yeah,
we did an
too.
episode on it.
I did too.
A lot of you were here.
Joe. Yeah, with
Joe, with Anthony, or whatever. So, did we like the Batman? No, I was not going to write, the back page of the Times
And then
like
Joe
Anthony
says-
did about it.
Joe says, I said what I said. Batman plus prep time beats the witch.
No,
Okay, Joe.
not this one. This movie definitely showed that was not the case.
How many beers have you had, Joe? Jerry says, agreed. The Dark Knight raised the bar. Yes, Dark Knight.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked it. I liked the different multiverses. I was a big fan. The WandaVision. I mean, Wanda just really that kind of flipped it for me because, like I said, I hadn't seen the trailer. So when I saw that she was going to be the big bad, I was like, oh wow. And it kind of gave me hope because I was like, after I was done watching her, it gave me hope to see what maybe the Phoenix can do. Mm-hmm. Because this was like the first time my opponent was so overwhelmingly powerful. You know? I mean, golly, she was so fucking strong. They let her flex.
Oh yeah,
They let Wanda flex big time in
and
this
they let her
movie.
flex on some pretty hefty characters. Should
Yes,
we
they
get into
did.
that? The big maybe what you could almost call
Well, first off, when
Okay.
she goes to Kamataji,
yes.
and man, it's
Oh, yeah.
all those fucking well-trained, what would you call them, wizards or
I guess sorcerers.
sorcerers. And she's looking for that weak spot, and then she gets into that guy's head. It was like, holy shit, just that one weakness, and she tore up Kamataji bad,
Big time.
real bad.
And I kind of did feel though, Double A, that these guys were kind of like the scrub Jedis.
Of course, you can say that, and you can say that too.
These were the Kai Adimundis.
But with Wong and Strange being there too, it was kind of like, damn, she was like, she just reigned hell over that fucking temple.
Yeah, that was a hard flex. And, I thought at the end she could have just, bent reality one last time and brought them all back, but no, it didn't look like she did do that. It looked like they was dead. Dead. Let's see here.
Oh wow. Let me see.
Words says, why were the Illuminati so cocky when they fought Wanda?
It kind
We're
of
going to get to that for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Chuck is getting a little buzz from Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Joe says, one thing I did not like was how easy she went to read. Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Words 789 says, and I think they should have killed off Wanda in this one.
Although, isn't she not dead at the end, Words?
I don't
It
know.
seems like that she ended herself.
Jerry says, the only thing I really hated about Multiverse
of
is that they call it the MCU Earth 616. The mainstream comics is 616, not MCU. Oh, good point.
I definitely
Good
agree.
point.
They could have called it 617 or something. To imply that they're the same was a disservice to the comic book universe
Yeah,
that we
you
all
could say
know.
that. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Word said, and they nerfed Doctor Strange in this movie. Strange should have beat her one-on-one. The shit we've been seeing about Wanda, she's just too damn strong.
Now, Double A and Jerry, those of you out there still watching, Joe, what do you guys think in the comic book world? And for what we know of comics before these movies, what do you think would have happened Strange versus Wanda one-on-one?
I would have assumed before they kind of raised her power level that Strange would have beat her.
But
then it
even
was
after
like the
what we know
House
from
of
House of
M.
M, yeah, see?
No, that's when she became the fucking powerhouse. That all of a sudden people were like, they looked at her powers, whatever writer it was, they looked at her powers and like, hey, hold on.
Because her
Wanda
power
can-
has always been to bend reality,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
that's like an Infinity Stone. I've said this before. She's like an Infinity Stone. So with that one specific power, and I tell people when you really think about what that power is, it's like she could reduce Doctor Strange to steam.
She created 2 kids.
Yeah, she could create life out of nothing.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. That's
It's a pretty hefty
Jedi
power.
shit.
I know Doctor Strange could do a lot of shit, and he's very magical. You know what I mean? And I know
There's
he's the
limits,
Sorcerer
though,
Supreme.
to Strange. Yeah, there's limits to Strange, though, obviously.
Right.
I mean, he's
Right.
not going to be always all powerful. Mephisto overpowers him easy.
Sure. And what
Easy.
about when you have him up against someone like the Power Cosmic, like Surfer?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's even a contest almost,
No. No.
It's difficult, though, to gauge it, because we're talking about kind of hypothetical powers.
Yes.
I mean, so...
But, they've made Wanda so overwhelmingly powerful,
If you would have asked me 10 years ago,
Oh,
who would win? I
yeah.
would have said Doctor Strange
Yeah.
1,000 times in a row because I'm like, come on, man,
Well,
he's the Sorcerer
I
Supreme.
say 25 years ago, maybe.
Maybe so.
Because
Yeah.
when House of
true.
M came out,
True.
it was kind of like it was a whole new ball game,
Yeah, when she just wiped out everyone's mutant powers,
just with 3 words.
all of it. No more
Yeah.
mutants. Oh
And
wait,
that was it.
like this. No more mutants.
Oh damn.
So there you go. What else do we got in there, Double Ace? It's coming
Jerry
in good.
says, "Dude, I geeked out when I saw Rintra.
Rintra. Fill us in more, Jerry. We might be going a little bit deeper than we are.
It
there.
seems her powers aren't correct. Quite reality warping level yet. Doubt it. Even in the comics, it's iffy. Strange beat her only by showing her greatest tragedy. It put her in a catatonic state. Joe says she took over a whole town. Ward says, I feel you. And then Jerry says, we also remember that her reality warping is still fairly recent, only less than 20 years.
So what were the powers before? Were they more like
Just
witch, like magic?
It was
Okay,
magic,
okay.
yeah. Oh,
You
he's
know-
the Minotaur looking alien. Okay.
Oh yeah, that guy
Kamikaze.
was really rad. Yeah, very nice.
I have to agree with Wanda on Strange being a hypocrite, though. Strange killed the other Strange just for the book. The book that he was saying was bad.
Yeah, I did like it. So one of the things go ahead. You had something?
No.
One of the things I was saying is I felt like they were trying to build an almost Heart of Ice Batman the Animated Series story where it was going to be like you were kind of like, man, fuck you, Strange, like you are being a hypocrite the way that I felt about, and I love the Batman from the animated series, but in that Heart of Ice episode and the Clayface episodes, you know how I feel.
Yes.
I'm like all like, you're wrong, man. They're not trying. They're wreaking havoc because they got fucking wronged, and it's the same thing that you're doing on your war on crime, Batman. I'm like, so why is it okay for you to fucking be all holier than thou and on your high horse, but it's not okay for Mr. Freeze or Clayface to do the same thing, and they're only trying to right the wrongs that were done to them. You know what I mean? Like that's fucked up. That's hypocrisy. So I felt like they. Maybe with that extra 40 minutes, they could have made that more. I wanted to feel that more. I did not feel it enough, but I felt like that's what they were going for. And had they have landed it more correctly, this movie could have easily been a 9 or a 10 to me. You know what I mean? But it did land my 2 marks, which I always say, I will buy a nice copy of this, and I will happily go watch this in theaters again. You know, so those are those things on that. But yeah, I do feel as though that she was right on calling him out on his hypocrisy, because again, when she did something, as she says in the trailer, you know, when I do it, I'm the bad guy, but when you do it, you know, you're lauded for
But
it.
was it so bad when he gave Thanos the time stone? I mean, was it bad?
I mean, I don't know. You know,
Thanos wanting to wipe out half the universe.
people lost those 5 years, though they didn't get him back. But
They didn't get him back,
they
but-
showed the guy in the wedding. How dark was that?
Yeah.
Oh man, I lost
Yeah.
my brother. I lost this.
Yeah.
Like it's like, man, wow, what the fuck? That's fucked
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? And he asks him, was it the only way? And he's like, yeah, you know, it was. And I'm like, all right, there's like a whole nother layer of guilt there. You know, I mean, think about that. That happened to damn it, our character from WandaVision, Photon, whose mom, you know, Rambeau, her mom passes while she's in the blip or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of shit happened. The one kid that's like, when I left, I was the big brother, and now my younger brother's older than me.
Yeah.
It's like that shit's fucked up. You know, it's pretty grim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's like Stark. Stark wanted to get on his high horse in Endgame and go after Captain America and tell him, "Oh, fuck you, Cap. You know, we should have put a suit of armor around the world." And I'm like, "Why? To correct your fuck ups?" It's the same as what we saw in Superman Red Son AA, where it's like, "Oh, Superman made this utopia, but he did it by enslaving the people that were pieces of shit." It's like, okay, I mean, like I still, you know, was kind of like, fuck, I kind of agree with you because these are shitty people, but there was no free will, which what that piece of shit Batman fought for in that one, you know. So it's tough. Go ahead though. Go ahead.
But you know what? I loved it though. I thought Strange was really good, way better than I thought in the first one. His personality did change a lot, and it changed a lot during the movie. You know, for him wanting to be a better person. I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked how he was taking care of America. I like how him and Wong were bonding more. You know, the scene too where she follows her to the universes. You know, and you know they get, you know, they see the statue of him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Strange.
I dug
where
that.
We hear what happened with Thanos.
That's Universe 836, I think they say.
I forget what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. We go into that universe with the cameos that I did not know. Besides Xavier, I didn't know the other ones were going to be there. Honestly,
I mean, I didn't know that either.
I was blown away when I saw Black Bolt.
Oh gosh,
there.
that's awesome.
I mean, he's one of my favorite characters. If you ever heard this podcast, I talk a lot about Black Bolt. And then John Krasinski, man, oh man, I probably blew my pants like hard. I mean,
that was
did not
right?
know that was happening.
That was so fucking cool, man. So cool.
I was like, wow. They actually got him.
What again? Call it fan service, call it whatever. I mean, but maybe it was always in the pipeline. I mean, at one time he was tapped to be Captain America before Chris Evans.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just was like, I told you I was having a moment in the theater, like a personal moment, like a, I don't know what was up, but it was just like I was having like a thing going on, and I was like trying to enjoy the movie, but that was going on. But that part really, I was kind of like truly sucked in, and I was like, oh man,
when they said, when they said Baxter Building, I was kind of like,
oh yeah, I heard that.
I was like, okay, cool. It was like the first kind of mention we got in Fantastic Four. I was like, Baxter Building, but honestly, I didn't think anything else of it. I was just like, Baxter Building. Okay, cool. They're mentioning Fantastic Four now that they can. When he came out with the Fantastic Four outfit, I mean, I was like, oh my goodness.
Which, by the way, looked fucking rad.
Because this is a guy I've always wanted. This is a guy that really should have been the Tony Stark if they had the rights. Honestly,
Reed the most is intelligent always, man in
Reed
the
is
universe.
Always the
they
leader,
call him
almost.
Yeah.
He's always that guy. He's like we always said. They stuffed so much of Reed and Iron Man together to. That's who Robert Downey was playing. He was playing almost like a Reed Richards.
When they show Tony figuring out the time heist and how to reverse,
there's no way
that's so Reed Richards
that's
right
Reed
there.
Richards.
I'm like,
Tony Stark has never been that smart ever.
Now I will say this: I don't know about this universe's Reed because I'm like, why isn't he there with the Ultimate Nullifier? Wouldn't that have helped him against Wanda? He definitely needed some fucking
there
help.
There is no Wanda in that universe, I would imagine. They were more worried about Strange,
or she's a good Wanda in that universe, or something. Because they were definitely more worried about Strange.
They're like, oh, the X-Men handle it,
and
Xavier is like, oh, we got her. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, Ward 789. You're very right. They took that Illuminati in that universe, or if they're from all universes, I assume that they're from that universe. They took her very lightly, in a not good way, and they paid heavily for that.
Because they had took down Thanos, so they were like, oh, what's gonna be worse than Thanos?
Yeah, exactly. No doubt.
And I checked to make sure that was the Black Bolt that was cast in the Inhumans, so that was him too.
People like Jerry were really happy that guy got a second chance to kind of look cool and be a good Black Bolt, which he looked fucking badass.
I know. When I saw the suit, I was like, whoa, Black Bolt, and then Mr. Fantastic, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and then how about that theme music comes in?
They actually used the X-Men music. The X-Men animated
series from the 90s theme music.
They actually used it.
The yellow hover chair.
Yeah.
And
I was like, wow.
Anyone out there that saw this on maybe a bigger screen than me, maybe IMAX or you, Double A, did the suit even look like how his was a hint of green? Yeah. I was like, shit, they gives motherfucker a green suit, like out of the cartoon.
I was like, wow.
I was
and
like,
even when he's doing his mind thing, they actually show like the wave.
Yes. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that to me was like, the Phantom Menace was bad up until Duel of the Fates. This was the Duel of the Fates in this movie. I was like, this movie could do no fucking wrong anymore. I'll go watch that movie 10 times to watch that scene over and over again because it was fucking amazing.
I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it when they're just introducing Black Bolt, Fantastic, and then Xavier. It was cool that they had the other Captain Marvel. She's fine, but it's just... it's these three fucking characters.
We said Black Bolt, Mr. Fantastic, Professor X. And I geeked pretty hard for Captain Carter too.
Oh yeah, I mean it was cool too.
Me personally, because I dug that episode. Cool the first episode
that was great
of What
too.
If.
But it's just these were three characters I didn't think I would ever see in the MCU. Honestly, I didn't think I was ever going to see Black Bolt look the way he did.
Yeah,
I didn't think I was going to see Xavier, and I didn't think I was ever going to see Reed. Not for a few years.
I agree. I mean, what about that yellow hover chair?
The yellow, and then like ripped that out of the comics. You said, the X-Men animated music. I mean, that music has become so iconic in pop culture. I mean, golly, how could you not play that music? You know,
I mean, that was like the ultimate. Here you go, fans. Nice big pat on your back for you right there.
And then when he showed like Black Bolt using his powers on that universe is strange.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, oh man.
Oh
I was
yeah.
like, shit.
I'm like, man, thank you for giving us. And even then, I was telling people, I was like, that was a little bit. They didn't play it exactly right because I always remember that one scene where he just does that whisper, almost that Wanda, like the crack of his mouth opens a whisper word, and it just fucking devastates everything in its path. I wanted it to be a little bit more. I was like, give me more fucking like Black Bolt like
man,
that.
I wanted so much Black Bolt. I was like, man, you know what? But then when Wanda came in and it showed her powers, like I wasn't mad that she killed him. I was like, wow, like again. They're letting her flex.
Oh, yeah.
And she flexed hard on these dudes. Now, none of these dudes are extremely powerful. None of them are. Captain Marvel, Captain Carter, Xavier, Reed. I mean, yeah, I can see her beating them. One-on-one, I could really see her beating them. Mm-hmm. They're not elite powers. You know what I mean? They're not Thor. Like, Reed, all he can do is really stretch. He doesn't have anything else.
Yeah, it's his brain that is,
you know Captain Marvel's powers are always up and down. You know, the one that Brie Larson is playing is just I've never seen Captain Marvel that powerful before in the comics. And Captain Carter, we can just assume she has Captain America's powers, right? You know, which is not going to really help against someone like Wanda. So
except for that iron will, that heart.
Sure,
you know?
But I mean, eventually it's gonna. Wanda's gonna kill her. Yeah.
Double A, would you say this, and this is for everyone out there too, and I'm definitely gonna get to all these comments. I see them coming in, guys, and I want to read what you have to say. But we said Reed has the ability to stretch, but does what make him such a powerful mind is because he can also stretch the limitations of his mind? Like,
no, I don't think so.
Is he stretching in that way? Okay, I'm wondering what bombarded by cosmic rays.
Oh, I mean, he was super intelligent.
You know what I mean?
Even before that.
True. To even.
I mean, he figured out Dr. Doom fucked up in his like little experiment.
Exactly. Should we read these here, Double A?
Yeah,
let's get in there. Word says, let me see. The book that he was saying was bad, right? That's the. I
think we read those.
The book that we got there. Okay. Jerry says she could alter probabilities regarding what her old powers were, but not as such an expanse level until she was possessed by Chiton or Catan. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Joe says Batman hate rears its ugly head. It's not an episode without it, right, Joe?
On, Joe.
Let's see. Oh shit! So many comments. I had to come back here. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. I lost my space here. Go ahead, Double A. Help me out there.
Jerry says, dude, I love Batman, but let's be honest. There's a hint of hypocrisy in his mission. Just a hint, though. One says, only thing that stopped this from being a 6 out of 10 was seeing Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and classic Professor X.
Perfect. Those are perfect words to give it a whole point bump up.
I felt like at times the movie was just too much Raimi Evil Dead, especially with the zombie strange.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot Raimi's hands all over it, for sure.
Then Jerry has a few comments. He says definitely better than the first. The Easter eggs were dope. The paint universe, that was weird.
Nice.
838.
838. There we go.
Joe says this dude, though I don't see him as a leader. This dude, though, I don't see him as a leader. Krasinski, Joe?
Interesting.
I think he pulls off really well.
If they, it's funny because I just watched Quiet Place Part 1 the other day with my nephew. He wanted to see it, and I was like,
he has that.
That is a leader,
right?
Yeah, he's leading that family to safety. I mean, like
that's what I thought too.
He's a major dad in A Quiet Place. Bring that to.
But then Joe thinks the Batman is better, so
that's tough.
Jerry says Krasinski has real exclamation mark. Jerry says Ensign Mount returning as Black Bolt. I was blown away. He got a chance to redeem himself. Jerry says disagree. After watching Quiet Place and Jack Ryan, Krasinski can totally lead.
Yeah, totally, Jerry. There you go.
The outfit was on point.
Absolutely on point.
I'm totally Reed. I mean, the dude helped restore the multiverse after Secret Wars from the 2015 series.
Mm-hmm.
Underestimated her for sure. When the animated series theme played, I almost exploded. The whole theater erupted.
Yes.
Word says X-Men theme was ultimate fan service.
And rightfully so, perfect.
And then Jerry says the telepathy waves were super dope. Yes, awesome. I was like, man, finally.
They're going to show us something that the Fox Universe did not do.
Yes.
They're gonna show. They're gonna give us that big pat on the back. Here you go, fans, and we're gonna say okay.
Was amazing, that scene. My favorite. Jerry says apparently there was more cameos than that cut out for continuity.
Wow. Okay. Very cool.
And Joe Beck, no strange as Avengers leader. Okay.
Well, all right.
And then Jerry says he has to go. It's around his time.
Okay, Jerry, thank you so much for being here, brother. All the great input and feedback, man. It was wonderful.
But I loved how they showed Wanda flexing. I love how they showed her pretty much getting rid of Black Bolt's mouth.
Yeah, smart move in that case, right?
Him using it, kind of her making him using it, and blew his fucking brains out.
Yeah,
you know?
man. Wow.
I wish they could have let Xavier kind of flex more on his telepathy, though. I wish it could have been a little bigger battle because, you know, for a long time, for us when we're reading it, Xavier was supposed to have the most powerful brain.
Yes.
Most powerful mind. I mean,
Yes.
he went up against Dark Phoenix and he beat Dark Phoenix. And that's when
Right.
Dark Phoenix was at her absolute peak powers.
Right.
So I wish he kind of would have showed that a little bit more.
I agree.
Kind of deflecting Wanda.
He was
here
the
and
one
there.
out of the particular Illuminati we saw that I thought was like going to maybe have give her the most challenge.
Yeah.
And they actually showed it being Captain Carter, which didn't make a lot of sense to me because she could have just turned her to mist or vapor or whatever.
Yeah.
That would have been that.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, it was cool. Now, Jerry and Anthony had two different opinions on the line, you know, the Captain America line. Anthony said he let out in his theater an audible groan. He was like, when she said, you know, I can do this all day.
Oh.
And he said that even some old lady behind him told him, can you be quiet? You know what I mean? And Jerry said his theater popped for it. My theater popped for it too.
My theater
We-
didn't,
we-
but
my
I
theater-
saw it like a few days later. If I would have saw it on a Thursday, I probably would have heard the pop.
My theater popped for that. My theater popped when, of course, they all came out. My
theater, it kind of seemed like they didn't know who Black Bolt and Reed and like they kind of like Xavier got the loud pop.
Well, I could tell that like the members of my family that didn't know, like I knew like my sister didn't really. Well, no, I think my sister got. I knew Jess didn't get it, and my mom definitely didn't get there. Like,
Okay.
who were these other people?
Yeah, because they're like, I remember my family was asking me who that dude in the black was.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah,
it's Black Bolt.
Even my
I'm like-
sister didn't know who he was. But of
Yeah.
course, she knew Reed. She knew obviously Xavier.
But it wasn't like I was kind of like, wow, it's kind of weird. Like no one really like popped it like in my theater. I saw it on a Sunday. I don't know if that hurt any. I mean, it was a full theater,
full though, right?
It was a full theater, but I was like, and no one really popped with Captain Carter when she said that. I mean,
Okay,
I laughed when
Yeah.
she said that.
I
you
thought
know,
it was cool. Yeah, I thought,
you know,
I thought it was cool. My
but-
theater had a hard pop.
No, man, mine was kind of quiet. I was like, oh, okay, well, shit. This ain't Endgame crowd, you know?
Right. Or even No Way Home, because my
No
No Way
Way
Home
Home
crowd
crowd,
went
oh my
pretty wild
goodness,
too.
yeah.
Hey, Words, I want to say real quick, 789, we appreciate you being here, man, and appreciate your input into the show. This is just another Friday night, man. We normally do this on Friday night, so if you want to continue to watch us, continue to join us, continue to comment, please hit that subscribe button, man, on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it.
And
Let's see.
he in his opinion, Ward thinks Mr. Fantastic is dead. He
Okay.
doesn't think Krasinski will be coming back.
Man, that would be a shame.
And he also says, I was expecting an Xavier mind battle.
Yeah,
I was
totally.
thinking too, but instead he got easily wiped out.
Yeah.
That was kind of a bummer. And I hope Patrick Stewart does come back. I
hope
hope they
so.
do bring his Xavier back and maybe kind of show more. 'Cause
Yeah.
what they tease here, I was kind of like, wow. Like, they kind of showed an Xavier we hadn't seen in the X-Men movies, you know, which is kind of weird.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of like, wow, this feels like our Xavier,
Yeah,
right? It kind of felt
absolutely.
like our Charles Xavier
Sure.
that we grew up with.
No, totally, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, of course, from the theme to the suit to the
That's
you
what
know,
I'm
yellow
saying. It was
hover
just
chair.
everything, right? It was like, wow.
It was a lot, and I mean, I dug Krasinski. Now, you know, another problem that I know that Anthony Caruso had said.
I almost thought that when he went into her head, I almost thought Michael Fassbender was going to come. I was like, man, wouldn't that have been so cool?
That would have
if-
been awesome.
If he would have came out
like
but-
as her dad,
yeah,
right?
But I was like, fuck, because when they mentioned Wonder Gore,
I was gonna
and
say,
I
we
thought
gotta
Evolutionary was gonna pop. I
High
thought maybe
Evolutionary.
somehow he was gonna pop.
You know,
but no, I was like, fuck, he's
I'm
not
telling
there.
you, man. When they said Wonder Gore,
Yeah.
I geeked, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh! I was like,
holy
I
shit.
thought about you. I was like, Adam is gonna fucking love this
Yeah.
part. And you know, it's funny. Me, Jerry, and Anthony talked around the movie a little bit. We didn't even once mention Wonder Gore. I'm sad that Jerry's gone out to talk about Wonder Gore, but. One of the things Anthony had said was that he didn't like the dialogue with the Illuminati. He said that he thought that they didn't make Reed sound intelligent. I did agree that the dialogue could have been tightened a little bit up. Again, people keep saying that it felt a little rushed and needed room to breathe. I think it's because we wanted more time to live
But
with
you
those
know,
characters.
I think Kevin Feige knows.
Mhm.
We don't give us a whole lot. Give us that little fucking teaser so
Right.
we want more.
Right.
And what are we doing right now?
Wanting more.
We're wanting more.
Real bad.
He wants to see the response.
Do you think
You know?
after this, Double A and Joe, I'm glad you're still here. Do you both think that after this, and Words, if you're still here, do you guys think that after this, fans will settle for anything less than Krasinski
Oh
as
my
Mr.
goodness,
Fantastic?
no, because I want to see him back.
I mean, that was not enough. All of those characters, it was not enough.
And then I was like, oh, is Emily Blunt just going to pop up? Maybe she's there too, you know? But
Man,
you
you could have done a CGI Johnny Storm, a CGI thing with no one
I was
attached
fine
to it.
with
It would have
them
been
not coming. I
badass.
was fine with them not coming, but I thought maybe Invisible Woman would have popped out. Like all of a sudden you would have seen her. She's been there the whole time. You know, maybe
How
have
about
a
just
force
quick
field.
throw like a bubble,
Or just a force field around Reed.
or,
you know?
or around Wanda, just trying to suffocate her,
That's
trying
it.
to fight back. You would have
Yeah.
been like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like there was like, I thought those Ultron bots at first might have been Doom bots.
And I
what
was
the
like, oh
fuck?
shit, Ultron bots. I was like, shit.
If you got Doctor Doom on the Illuminati, you're in big fucking trouble. Word
Joe
says no, he
says-
doesn't think he's coming back.
Or Joe says, felt they used the guys for a cheap pop, similar to how AEW brings in old WWE wrestling.
Oh wow,
Cheap pop
interesting.
rating.
Read my Macho Man mention
Then-
here. If
then
you
Ward
want.
said no. Joe says, nope, imagining being the actor to take that role.
Okay.
And then Ward says, we need Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic, interacting with Spider-Man and the Avengers.
I would go for that. In my write-up, you read me say that if you really wanted a Sam Raimi multiverse pop in a movie that has the word madness in it, you got to bring in the Macho Man.
Yeah.
He was Bonesaw in the original Spider-Man. Come on, you bring back Bonesaw as a cameo. You know what I mean? Like that's where you do it right there. He's the world champion.
Oh,
something like
and
that.
then Joe says, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Wow, that would have been something as well too.
You know, he didn't do a bad Johnny Storm, though. Honestly,
he
I
wasn't.
liked his Johnny Storm.
It was very much what you would think Johnny Storm would be like.
Annoying prick.
So here's something that I thought about Double A is that maybe would have changed the way people think about it, right? So let's just say this: imagine in that first end credit scene, instead of what we got, maybe we get Agatha digging through the rubble and getting Wanda out and telling her, "I know someone that can help us," and they exchange a look, and then in the end credit scene, we see a dark place. Wanda's there, and someone emerges with icy words, dressed in red, the red cape, you know what I mean? And we get a glimpse of Mephisto.
Oh, Mephisto.
Do you not think, and saying something like, I can make your children real. You know what I mean? Because that is that story, right?
Yes, it is.
Imagine
Somehow
those two scenes connecting.
Yeah, somehow when she made her kids in the comics, she pulled something out of like Mephisto or some shit like that.
Like
I don't
his
know,
rib or something, like almost like Adam and Eve
It was
type
kind of
stuff.
weird.
You know
It's
what I mean?
some weird shit. Yeah.
So-
man, everybody like just wants Mephisto. I don't know when he would come out. This probably would have been a perfect time.
I mean, well, because it ties so much into the kids.
It
you know what
does,
I
and
mean?
he has a big history with Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And Wanda. So
Now, again, they mentioned Wundagore. Obviously, we know the High Evolutionary.
I seriously thought High Evolutionary was going to be in that castle.
That would have been a
Seriously.
hell of a reveal at
Man,
the
oh,
end
man.
too, right?
Yes,
I mean, like, fuck, that's cool.
I think I was expecting too much at that point, but man, I was like, damn, no Evolutionary, because he kind of plays. There's an episode in X-Men where he plays a big part in that whole
Yeah.
family shit.
I mean, do you think he could easily be the next Marvel big bad?
he can be.
You know?
They do it right. He can be.
I mean, like I said, they're so focused on like, who's after Thanos, whatever, right? And you're like, okay, Kang definitely can do it. But imagine Kang and the High Evolutionary and Doom. It's like now you've got fucking.
They really got to move on King, because I feel like I'm forgetting about him. I'm forgetting that excitement I got with Loki.
Right.
It's like they need to hurry up and fucking start introducing him more. Like it would have been cool if they showed him a little bit in this movie, since they're going through all the multiple, the multiverses. I mean,
and He Who Remains.
and then well, the other cameo too that they showed, which I think this was a spoiler. I saw this before the movie, that the Living Tribunal came out.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was like a quick. It was quick when they're going through all the multiverses.
No shit.
In the beginning, you see this big head. That was the Living Tribunal.
Man, I
so
love
that was
that.
kind of like cool, because they kind of mentioned in Doctor Strange. Remember the staff of the Living Tribunal,
Right,
Which I thought was
that's
kind of
right.
weird. I was
Yeah.
like, huh, because the Tribunal is like a fucking big time cosmic being.
Okay, so
Yeah.
not to me. Let's talk though, Double A. about that first end credit scene. Did you know who that was? I did not.
No, but then I had to remember, like, it was kind of vague, but she does come out in a lot of his classic issues.
Yeah, because I didn't know who it was at all, but I was like, oh, cool, Charlize is in
and that was another thing. I was kind of like, oh shit, Charlize is here.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, that's cool.
I mean, Marvel nabbing up the big Oscar winners, the big names.
I guess what that means with her coming in is maybe no more Rachel McAdams. Maybe that's over. You know, so
because obviously who Charlize Theron and my whole group, including myself, didn't know who that was. I think even my nephew said, "Uncle Charlie, who's that?" I said, I don't know. That is Clea, as Joe mentioned, and I learned this from Jerry, who is Doctor Strange's love interest, and I believe right now she's the current Sorcerer Supreme.
I believe so.
So I mean, this is always setting up. Obviously, now we know from Love and Thunder we're going to get the Jane Foster Thor. So possibly down the line.
Well, she looks in really great shape. I saw that trailer.
Man,
I was
what
like,
a babe, man.
I was like, damn, because they showed her.
From, I thought we were talking about Charlize. She looked great too.
Oh no, I was talking about Natalie Portman. I was like, damn, she looks good. She got in shape,
superhero-ish. Like buffish. You know what I mean? Like, so very cool. Let's see.
Laura says, I hope Wanda gone in the rubble just like Captain Marvel.
Interesting.
And then Joe says, a lot of people did not know Clea. Were y'all waiting for King? Not. I wasn't waiting for King, Joe, but it would have been cool just if they would have popped him up, just to kind of like remind people, because Loki's already kind of old. It's already kind of like a long time ago, and with Reed in the picture, it would have been cool with King,
And also too, you felt like Loki, since people say that if you timed it up, it kind of times up with WandaVision,
right?
Yeah, because you see Kang noticing things are happening when Wanda's becoming
That's what everyone
aware.
says, that it was either Wanda doing it or it was at the moment that Strange was doing it for Peter. Yeah. It was like one of those moments.
Plus, that whole thing in Loki, the whole thing is like, other timelines and variants and like, the branching of the one main. I was like, this is kind of the perfect opportunity to bring that back or whatever. I mean, like,
unless they're just like, they're probably telling maybe Sam Raimi it'd be too much for us to like throw at people. It'd be too much shit. We got to kind of space this out so people, King is going to be obviously an Ant-Man. So they're probably like, no, don't show King. Or, Ant-Man's already going to come out soon. So,
which is an interesting pairing, right? Because it seems a little bit out of his league. Like, how are they going to work that? I mean, I'm not saying that they haven't worked magic in the past. They definitely have, and they certainly can. But, Ant-Man and Kang seems a little bit, like I said, you're out of your league a little bit, buddy.
He is very out of his league, but it's called Quantum Mania or some shit like that. So maybe it's going to... I don't know. That was... I never liked the idea that King was going to pop up with Ant-Man. That is such a weird fucking thing. This movie would have been perfect,
a better fit.
For King. Joe says at work, might be worth talking about. Actors at work considered for Strange at one point were Joaquin Phoenix, Jared Leto, Jake Gyllenhaal, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Daniel Radcliffe.
Interesting.
And he gets that was from Luck. Oh, all right.
Oh,
cool.
very
Luck.
Nice. Yeah, thank you, Luck. Appreciate that.
I mean, I don't know. It was just really hard to top that part in the movie. I mean, that's just like, like I'm not a big fan of The Last Jedi, but that scene where, Adam Driver and
Mark Hamill.
No, where they fight in the throne room.
Oh, right.
It's like one of those movies. Like you said, the Duel of Fates.
Sure.
It's kind of like one of those moments.
Yeah. There are enough good things to outweigh some of the things that I wish would have been better or tighter or more.
And it was just cool too because like there were so many of the what if stuff that came through that I was kind of like, because I remember thinking, oh, it'd be cool to see the what if, but it's probably not going to have anything to do with the movies. We saw so much of that what if. We saw Captain Carter come out, and then we saw the Strange. The evil Doctor Strange,
and
come out.
The big creature, the eye creature,
the big creature
plays a part like through several episodes.
Yeah, so it was cool to kind of like they're even connecting all those because how sometimes like they leave a lot of that shit out, like the shows are something else. Yeah, but Marvel's like embracing everything. Like, no, you have to watch all these. Yeah, or else you're gonna be lost by the time you see Doctor Strange. You're gonna be like, what the fuck happened to Peggy? Yeah. Last time I saw her, she was in the 40s with Cap. Right. How the fuck did she become Captain Carter?
I mean, and like you said, the Professor X stuff is like, oh, we're definitely we're leaning into that. I asked my mom yesterday, because I didn't really ask her after the movie, like, what she thought about it. But I said, hey, Mom, you didn't really say what you thought about the movie. And she goes, oh, I really liked it. She goes, it was cool. She goes, man, she was badass or whatever, that chick or whatever, And I was like, okay, like, this is a very very, very casual viewer. I'm getting to go to the movies, popcorn and soda. Okay, movie's on. Like, wow, this is cool. There's like a lot of interesting visuals and a good guy and a bad guy,
cool.
you know?
And you know, my wife too, a very casual viewer, doesn't know anything. She doesn't read comics. She doesn't know nothing. But she fell in love with WandaVision.
Sure.
And she totally sympathized with her.
Yeah.
Character.
Oh, I have no
how
doubt.
Anthony was kind of saying like, oh, it's kind of stupid how they did her arc. My wife embraced it. She didn't feel bad at all for the stuff she was doing. She goes, if I lost our kids, I would do the same thing like fucking Wanda is doing. You know, so she totally sympathized. It was kind of like a different view, you know, from her point of view, you know. And she actually was like, because we saw it on Mother's Day, and she was kind of like, oh, wow, this ended up becoming kind of like a Mother's Day movie.
And then
you know?
MOM, right?
and
Multiverse
MOM.
of Madness.
But it was kind of like, oh, it's like, oh, wow. So it's kind of like a mom, you know, mom. It's a mom movie. She's trying to get home.
Some people said, oh, they thought it was corny when she's like, I'm not a monster, I'm a mom. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. I'm
because
like, that's what I told you.
Be there, you have to be in that spot.
My sister immediately was like, I do not sympathize with the America chick. She goes, if she said if anything Wanda took too long, she goes, I would have just sapped her power and done the thing or whatever. And the other thing is, I'm like, why didn't Wanda find or maybe she didn't have enough time with it, but a multiverse. I'm like this. Oh, I sound like an idiot, like a fucking otter. Why didn't Wanda find a multiverse where there was maybe no mom to Tommy and Billy?
Maybe you're
and
right.
She could have mothered
maybe
them.
She was trying to so hard, and
because I knew that conflict was going to happen, where it's like, oh, you're going to run into the other Wanda that is their mom, and they're like, who the fuck are you, scary witch lady? You know what I mean? It's like you got to go where there's not them. You know what I mean?
Well, see, I thought she was trying to find them because I thought somehow they had got taken away to some weird spot. You know,
yeah, because you hear them crying out when she's reading the Darkhold at the end of WandaVision.
Maybe they kind of fucked up on that. Maybe.
I don't know, because the other thing that, you know, people kind of aren't really saying a lot about, they're just like, oh, she turned bad after we loved her in WandaVision. Like, don't forget, the book is corrupting her. The book is preying on her biggest wants, desires, like Jerry said, her depression, you know? And
it's like, you know, we've seen it so many times, and we talked about it, you know, Vader kind of went that way. It wasn't for anything else. It wasn't to have more powers to save Padme. You know, we did an episode on the Green Lantern, how Jordan, when Mongo destroyed Coast City, man, he flipped out. He wanted more power to bring it back.
What did we say then? Me and you both said it. We said, if I was just sitting there with the fucking ring, it's almost like I'm not doing my duty to not do this.
Yeah, so it's kind of
and we said the same when we watched WandaVision. We both said, if you're hurting like that and you're just sitting on the power, it's like,
you know, no one even really like helps Wanda at all. You know, it's kind of like she's like, the government told her that Vision's not yours, he's ours. Fuck off. You know, and you know, like Cap goes and does his own thing. Like Cap and Hawkeye seem like to be her two confidants. Yeah, and you know, Hawkeye obviously has a family. He blew off, but it's kind of like, well, Wanda was kind of just left on her own.
That's what really pissed me off about Cap and Hawkeye and Natasha, is I'm like, why didn't y'all check on her? Like, why no one checked on her? She's this powerhouse. She helped you guys. It's like damn, you know, well, not Nat by the end because she's already gone. But I mean, like the rest of them that were alive. I mean, like fucking, you got. I mean, I know that like Sam and Bucky are going through stuff too. But I'm like, yo, like here again. Your General Ross analogy you use all the time. It's like, you're gonna let this nuclear warhead just be out there? Like, check on her, man. She needed somebody to check
see, that's
on
kind
her.
of like the bad thing too, right? Like Nick Fury is supposed to be like kind of like the guy to keep an eye on these fucking superpowers, right? Like just like you said with Ross, you know, like, if I lost 235, you know, ton nukes, I'd have a lot to answer for.
Damn right. You know what I mean? And it's like the chick needed a hug in a big fucking
just something.
way.
Just, you know, maybe Cap could have used some pool and be like, give me Vision's body back right now. You know?
Right. Or be like, I'll help you get him back.
I mean, Tony or oh shit, never mind. He was already dead by that point.
Shit. I mean, anyone could have checked on her. You know, everyone met her. I mean, everyone saw her on the battlefield. I mean, it's like, what
this
the
girl
fuck?
lost her brother. She lost her fucking husband, essentially. You know,
she had to kill him, you know, twice. So it's like, fuck, you know.
I don't blame her for thinking like everyone just abandoned her, you know.
Yeah. Justice, I'm looking forward to Paul Rudd and the Kang actor.
That's just gonna be fun.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors, right? Is his name?
I believe so.
Joe also says, and the Marvel Zombies Run Strange was one of the most remembered. Definitely. Yeah.
Oh man, she looked fucking scary, Joe.
Yeah.
When she was just like full blooded, like when she was just after him, I was like,
Oh,
holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah. And then worse is, all I want to say is, I don't know what that is.
The movie was too Sam Raimi at times.
I don't have a problem with that. Honestly, I don't have a problem with Sam Raimi. I mean, every director kind of has their own. We've talked about it so many times.
Yeah.
Tim Burton has a look.
Scorsese,
Tarantino, Cameron.
There's going to be things
when you get a big name director, you're going to have little hallmarks. I mean, Spider-Man 2 was full of Evil Dead stuff.
Oh yeah.
I really don't mind it. They were going in so many different directions with this. Like I said, the evil Doctor Strange.
Right.
Man, that looked eerie. Going to the house where it was floating, on Bleecker Street, everything was just fucked. You know, I mean, man, it had that great vibe. That great vibe that you're just like, oh, fuck, where are they going? You know? And then we see the evil Doctor Strange and how much the book had corrupted him.
Right.
And all the other power had corrupted him.
Yeah. Which was cool because it made that book more scary.
Yeah.
And then, I'm thinking about, I did not see it coming, but when he goes into the corpse strange, you're like, oh, I forgot about that corpse strange.
I did too, and I was like, oh, he buried him. I didn't think nothing of it. My wife's always pointing out, you got to see those small details. They're always going to come back to play. She's always telling me, and I never fucking pay attention.
That's awesome. But it kind of makes it good because, like I said, you didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it.
Somebody that watched it with us was like, oh, really, you guys? You didn't know he was going to be the corpse again? I was like, oh, fuck,
that was funny too, the way it came out. I mean, that's Evil Dead.
Very Evil Dead, right? I mean, hey, fuck it. Like he said, he knows he's going to have probably one of the biggest audiences he's had since Spider-Man. And it's like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? I'm going to tribute my own shit,
Yeah, because, he said Spider-Man 3 really threw him off the big budget movies when they got so much hate and backlash. He was like, man, I don't know if I can. He pretty much said, I don't know if I can come back to this kind of genre again, So it's kind of cool seeing him come back because, the what ifs really did build up to kind of this movie. They show Strange all fucked up in the what if episodes.
Yeah.
It was, that tone was coming.
And he was clearly having fun with it. What I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's fine. They could have got anyone to direct it, and it would have been probably a different movie. This definitely felt like Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
I do wonder who else maybe was being tapped to direct, and I wonder what we would have got out of that director.
I don't know,
cool.
but I like the scale. I like the look of it. Steve Ditko would always put so much detail in Doctor Strange, and I love how they incorporate his work into these movies. That's the fun thing about watching the Doctor Strange movies. You see Steve Ditko come alive in these movies. The colors are amazing. The look, his, the whole side.
The hands. The Spider-Man hands when he casts the spells.
Golly, that's so awesome. To see all that. And after hearing Rob Liefeld's podcast, it really does sound like Doctor Strange is a Steve Ditko creation only.
Yeah.
After the expert, after all the excerpts that he read from Stan Lee,
right,
saying how he created Doctor Strange,
right,
and he hopes it does well, So I was kind of like, oh wow,
yeah.
But I like that part with Strange. I liked Rachel McAdams. I loved that she came back.
Yes, yes.
Like I said, I love the look.
Was great, right?
Christine,
very awesome.
Love the cameos. Love the Illuminati. Hope they mention them somewhere down the line.
Man, totally.
I forget his name. Oh, I can't pronounce his name, but the one who plays Baron Mordo.
Oh, right, yeah. Sure, sure tweet. I can't say
it's like in any universe, that dude is just an asshole. It's like him and Strange are just supposed to be enemies,
Yeah, in fact, I was like, man, talk about the wink link on the Illuminati. That's you. You're just like Sorcerer Supreme by default.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm
like, man, where's the Clea in that universe or someone else to be Sorcerer Supreme, not your ass? I'm like, I would rather have Brother Voodoo as Sorcerer Supreme.
Brother Voodoo.
And this motherfucker right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joe says, grew up on Raimi, so I was there for a long time. Spider-Man 2, easy my favorite Spider-Man movie. Yeah, a superhero movie, absolutely. Word says, last quarter, the movie was too much Evil Dead. All right, yeah, some people probably think so. And then Facebook user says, y'all got all the cool shirts. Thank you so much, Facebook user. Please identify yourself if you talked about our cool shirts. We appreciate that. But yeah, AA.
Did you think it was too long?
No.
Okay.
In fact, I did agree with people saying that it felt
too short.
Kind of a little bit rushed. Like I was like, whoa, let some of these scenes let me be with Mr. Fantastic a little bit more. Let me be with Professor X.
I think that's what maybe Kevin Feige wants to see.
Yeah.
What kind of reactions are we going to get with Krasinski Reed?
Yeah.
Do people even still love the Fantastic Four after 3 movies that people consider terrible?
Because there's
movies?
been no nothing about those.
Especially that last Fantastic Four movie that everyone says is the worst Marvel movie ever.
Oh, man, it's real trash.
I've never seen it because it's just so much garbage.
I forced myself to watch it because I tried watching it several times at night and just kept falling asleep.
There's people that say the Roger Corman movie is better than that one.
It is. I will agree with that. That movie is. And I love Michael B. Jordan. I think he can do no wrong.
Badly cast, probably, most likely.
It's just like they're just talking, and it's like it doesn't like make sense. I'm like, what's going on? Where's this movie going? Like, I'm like, I just don't get it.
So maybe Krasinski was using this to see, or I'm sorry, Feige. Maybe he was using this to see, like, let's see how the reaction is going to be with Krasinski as Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if people will accept our Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 movies in, because the Hulk. Remember, after Ang Lee, they came back with Edward Norton. And I thought that was a really good movie. I enjoyed The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, the Edward Norton one is great.
But,
I love it.
There's too much, the Ang Lee movie that people were like, I don't know about this one.
It really did ruin that one for Ed Norton and all that.
I don't know. So,
hey, we appreciate you subscribing. Words,
right.
Great, man. Yeah, again, we do this live every Friday night. Usually, we'll be back on Friday next week. Different topics all over the place, but usually in the realm of pop culture.
If you subscribe, though, you can see all our different episodes. So, and he says Michael B. Jordan was in Fantastic Four, but he was also Killmonger. That's one of those where it was
redemption.
Just like big time redemption. Yeah. Wouldn't it have been cool if maybe he was in the Illuminati if they had shown it? I know he's kind of in the what if. I know, man, because he was Black Panther. Man. Maybe he would have been the Black Panther in that universe.
Somebody commented earlier. They said, "Look, do I have to watch What If to see Doctor Strange? Do I have to watch WandaVision?" It helps. I said, "It helps." I said, to me, it's like this: you can watch it without, but it's like a great, delicious steak, which doesn't need sides. But if you have 2 really great sides, it's even better.
It's even better.
So just get it even better. Get it with an ice cold tall beer. You know what I mean?
And I think that's why people
some jumbo shrimps. You know what I mean?
I think that's why people were so devastated with Wanda because they have fell in love with her so much in WandaVision.
Well, of course they invested a lot to making us love her, but but then that makes the tragic fall all the more tragic, right? I mean, like think about it. Imagine if we got Clone Wars. Anakin before we knew what happened in Revenge of the Sith. We'd be. I mean, even now looking back,
it's different. It's
looking back, we're like, it hits different. We're like,
it's a different look,
man.
Yeah.
Like,
and I like how he even said though that he went back and saw the Clone Wars episodes to get ready for his new portrayal.
We know what's gonna happen, and every time we watch it, we're like, no, don't you fucking asshole, like don't. You know what I mean? Like it still fucking hurts. Let's see.
Joe says they're trying to joke it up a little much a la Thor.
Yeah, a lot of jokes. That's kind of becoming a Marvel hallmark, kind of in a way.
Yeah. But because I'm fine with it. I really am. When they get dark, they get dark.
Sure.
DC just always wants to go the opposite end. They really want to go all dark.
I think the only joke in the Batman is you got a lot of cats. Which I laughed a lot. I liked that part a lot. I was like, oh, he feels like human.
I did pull.
Yeah. I'm just like, there's just those moments where I'm like, okay, I kind of want more of that.
DC wants rated R. I'm happy with the Marvel where they're at. Because they show just a different variety of people. I mean, we get the heroes aren't always so hero-ish, huh? I mean, Wanda.
Right.
Golly,
tragic.
Word says Chris Evans was Johnny Storm, but he was also Cap. Yeah,
that's
two.
Right.
That's why Joe earlier words was like it would have been funny if Chris Evans would have popped up with the flame on.
Joe's just thumbnail. Which one? Which image was it, Joe? Is it me when I've got my Wanda tiara on? For those of you who don't, without the benefit of watching, you can see me be Wanda. I had it on earlier, but it was too lopsided. It was making me feel weird about myself, but.
I was okay with the America Chavez character.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a different kind of being, I guess. She could come back strongly. I do like her powers. Maybe King could do something with her. Maybe that's how King gets around.
Does that help you in a fight, though? Her powers? I mean,
apparently also she looks like she's super strong, too.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Yeah,
when she was popping
showing
Wanda.
Yeah, she showed some strength there for sure. But again, like Wanda wasn't bending reality enough. Or again, like I know Jerry said maybe she's not quite there yet, but I'm like I'd have just been turning people into mist. You know what I mean? Been like fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You're crumbs. I could have been snapping them myself. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing the snap on you anytime I want. You know. Joe says the
Batman joke thumbnail.
The Batman joke thumbnail. Maybe I don't know. Oh yeah. It's about,
and then Joe says a Latina on screen.
Yeah,
and,
that was nice. That was cool. You know what I mean? Like again, I just wished that me personally, I wish I cared a little bit more about America Chavez because I did not in this. I just was kind of like, you're like ancillary. You know?
But I like how Strange was like kind of like, no, I'm not going to take your power. You do it, you know?
Right.
And then Joe says some guy was making some rude comments about America. Huh.
What? Who? What guy?
And are you talking about America, the country, or America Chavez?
We're coming to America. There we go. Let's see. Jerry says, Joe, LOL. Wow.
Word says, can we talk about how America stole the pizza balls and he somehow managed to make the hardworking Bruce Campbell the bad guy?
Yes, we can talk about that. Great cameo by Bruce Campbell.
She says that in most of the universes, the food is free. So she just naturally assumed it was free.
She can't believe that they use money there. And as Jerry told me in a private chat, me and Anthony, he's like, I don't know what y'all think about the movie, but I want some pizza balls. And I was like, dude, that shit look fucking good, man. I go for that right now.
And then, Bruce Campbell, man, that dude's just awesome. I love his cameos.
I mean, again,
the guy who named Spider-Man, the guy who beat Spider-Man, told him he couldn't come in. You know?
What did he say? Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, again, and the guy was announcing a Randy Savage match, or Bonesaw. I mean, see, in a movie with Madness, you need Bonesaw to come out somewhere. They could have showed him. You know what I mean? Would have been great.
Oh yeah.
Jerry's back. Jerry says, Pizza Papa. I want some pizza balls too. Bruce Campbell was also totally excellent.
I loved it. Love Bruce Campbell.
Great end credit scene. Fine by me. You know what I mean? Like I said, did I want Mephisto? Sure. Did it feel right? Sure. Kang felt right too? Sure. All of those things would have been good.
What's going to come out of that dark universe that she's talking about? Are we going to get another look at Dormammu? Are we going to get Mephisto?
Well, Clea is Dormammu's niece.
That's what I'm saying. But
right,
are we going to see Dormammu again? You know, or is she going to lead him to Mephisto? I mean,
I think that you got to go there now. I mean, like here you have a guy with Kang that was like apparently managing the timeline, and it should be wildly diverged now. I mean, like we're literally seeing the multiverses.
Yeah, the Loki's really fucked this thing up.
Yeah, so it's like there's got to be those things have got to come to pass now. I mean, we've got to see Kang. We've got to see. I think more of Wundagore. You don't mention Wundagore without the high evolutionary. Jerry, you and Anthony didn't talk about this at all, but me and Double A, when you were away, we were talking Wundagore and the high evolutionary, man. I mean, like, you gotta. I mean, this guy kind of engineers some of the mutants, right? And
he makes a whole nother Earth.
You know, I mean, like that's
he creates a whole planet.
I mean, that's he's very revolutionary, the evolutionary.
Yeah.
It's evolution, baby.
And he can't die. There's like a comic where he's like very suicidal, and he tries to get the Hulk to kill him, and he can't fucking die.
Not even the Hulk can kill him?
No, he smashes in and smashes in, but
the Hulk likes killing
somehow
things.
Like his body gets put back together because his armor is so fucking high tech and everything. You know?
That's fucking legit.
Yeah,
man.
right.
We talked about him a while back. Remember, we were talking about Kang. I was like, man, think about it.
Jerry says there are rumors that High Evolutionary and Counter Earth are going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
Jerry, I mean, again, to me and Double A talking about the fact that Wundagore didn't come up once during you and Anthony's conversation. So, I mean, I know that you had to have popped hard in the theater for the mention. Because I know when I heard it,
pop
I was like, oh my God, Wundagore. Like, oh my God. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Those are going to be his trolls. Those are his trolls.
I was like, holy shit, man. They're going to talk about, I mean, all I needed to hear was fucking Terrigen Mists. And, I mean, I don't know what else I would have been like, fuck, like.
I mean, the animals, just the animals being, talking. And
I had my nephew asking me about Medusa afterwards. He was like, "Medusa is Black Bolt's wife, right?" And I was like,
oh wow,
how do you know that?
Yeah,
because he plays the Lego Marvel game, and
okay,
dude, you get to unlock all these characters. They have little bios, and that's where he's learning like a lot about them. And I mean, like, that's when he kind of
cool. Medusa when it came on.
But very, very, very badass.
Jerry says, "Yeah, Wonder Gore. I was waiting for something, and I was too." And
that would have been a very juicy end credit scene. Very juicy, man.
Because I think he even has some like part of like Adam Warlock. That's part of why he's coming in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
There's something about him and Adam Warlock have like a fucking connection. Him and High Evolutionary. So maybe that's why they're saving that, because they teased Adam Warlock in part 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy, remember?
Right, with the cocoon.
His cocoon.
Yeah, the cocoon, right. And we know that that's coming to pass, so definitely. Man, I mean, like I said, we buried the lead right away. I loved it, man.
I did too.
Like I said, 8 out of 10 for me. Would rewatch.
And you know what? After reading the comments, I can see how people are split. Words had a lot of comments about how it was kind of like, this was good, but then this would suck.
Sure.
Or I saw a lot was like it was too much Raimi. Maybe that turned off people too. Maybe it was too much Sam Raimi, his stuff. I don't know.
Like I said, I spent some conversations with Anthony, who I do value his opinions a lot, and he had some very specific things to say, and I was like, some of them I agreed on. Again, some of the CGI, some of the dialogue. Like, okay, don't just tell me that Reed Richards, the most intelligent man in the universe, but then there's like no more or whatever. You know what I mean?
But again, maybe it's just, let me give you a little sample.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Maybe.
And again, we're looking at maybe one version of the multiverse. Because who's the Illuminati in the comics?
It's Namor, it's Black Bolt, it's Strange, it's Iron Man. I think Xavier is there.
Xavier is there, yeah. I know he is on the cover of those. I remember that was like that Fear Itself series. Jared,
but Namor left because he didn't like how they were controlling too much.
Yeah. Because they're the ones who pretty much engineer Hulk getting shot off Earth.
To get off Earth.
Yeah. Because he's gonna,
because he's too much trouble, so they send his ass off.
It's almost like they're predicting like the Maestro, the future imperfect Hulk, but they shoot him, and then we get we get Planet Hulk, and then we get World War Hulk,
where he's majorly pissed.
Right, majorly pissed. Well, yeah, I mean the guy gets fucking shot off without.
Well, not just that, but then the ship blows up and kills his wife.
Right.
So he blames it on the heroes for sending him there in the first fucking place.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a great story.
That's a great story, guys. Yeah. If you never read Planet Hulk, man, you got to read Planet Hulk. That was probably one of the best stories I've ever read.
Yeah, let's see here.
He goes, he's the one that gave Adam Warlock the Soul Gem. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And Joe says, end credits should have been the rest of the Fantastic Four.
Oh, that would have been great too, Joe. I wrote a good ending, but I think that your ending's pretty solid.
And then Corey says, sorry guys, emergency happened, missed a lot.
Never need to apologize, Corey. You can always go back and watch it thanks to the power of the internet. But man, we're talking about a lot of stuff. Of course, we talked about the cameos, and we talked about what it potentially could have been some maybe different endings. And we're just talking about right now about the mention of Wondagore and the High Evolutionary. The mention of Wondagore and how the High Evolutionary would play into that. What we were talking about there, Corey. Jerry says, depends on when.
Later on, Cap, Beast, and Cap Brit join.
That's right. Yeah, Captain Britain. Yeah.
And then Jerry says, I love Planet Hulk. Yes. That was a great series.
Very great series. But
I can see why now. At first, my whole thought process was like, I just love Doctor Strange, and I still do. But after y'all's comments, I can see why it's kind of polarizing. It makes sense. A lot of it makes sense. But I still love it. I love the Doctor Strange movies. I love the look of the movies.
Yeah.
I've always loved all the multiverse kind of shit here and there in the comics and the movies. I've always loved that. It feels like they're doing a better Crisis on Infinite Earths than DC's doing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And Corey says, I'm sure, wish I wasn't interrupted. Hey, man, things happen, right? I do hope that you'll go back and listen to some of the comments. And by all means, Corey, we will read the comments if you post them on YouTube or, again, on the... you can't post comments to Spotify, but if you post them on the Facebook Live, I would love to hear what you say about some of the things that we said, man, some of the things that we mentioned, because I know that you were really looking forward to this one, and we wanted to get everyone's opinions. And Jerry, I'm definitely glad you came back, especially once Double A and I started talking the High Evolutionary. I mean, it was great. I mean, it was great. I mean, like I said, to me, I was like, okay, I think I had high expectation as well, but once I realized, I was like, oh, this is a Doctor Strange sequel. It felt very much like a Doctor Strange sequel, which I was like, it didn't. And
people always want them to have like straight just sequels by themselves, but I love how they're putting the other characters in.
Sure,
I love that Wanda was in this one.
Yes,
yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and they gave us a lot of other stuff they didn't have to give us.
Finally, we have a universe where these heroes can be in other people's movies. Like how Hulk was in Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
The Civil War and Captain America.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
Give me all those characters.
It feels like a comic book now.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, these go. You all live in New York. Why do you never see each other? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So, pretty great. Jerry says maybe they're building to Secret Wars. Absolutely, I think so. Jerry says I was jazzed when they said incursions. Very nice. Word says I have a question. Words, by all means, ask away. We will do our
Secret
best.
Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's been pretty clear that because Secret Wars is going to be a show, right? Or is it Secret Invasion?
I think it's Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion. They're going to do
with the
Skrulls.
Definitely.
Jerry says, "Can you imagine God Emperor Doom on screen?"
I just want to see Doctor Doom.
I mean, I'm happy with his good old Doctor Doom, but
I want to
God
see
Emperor
him
Doom?
back on top where he needs to be.
Yeah,
Doctor Doom at one time was the #1 villain in Marvel.
Again, they kind of did. I won't say that they did with Thanos the way they did with Tony and Reed. They did with Thanos, which could have been Doom or whatever. They picked a good guy to kind of like, we don't have Doom right now. Let's build up Thanos, and they did. And it was great.
And this is a good question by Words, because I was thinking this too. Why didn't Strange call it the other Avengers? Cap at this point, I think, is gone. Hulk, I don't know. Banner disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Thor's gone. He's gone with the Guardians.
Yeah.
So he's out. Natasha's dead. And then even Strange said, well, it was either you or the guy, the archer with the mohawk.
Yeah, the archer with the mohawk. Yeah.
So I think they're all kind of gone at this point.
And I also think, I mean,
Ant-Man's not going to be that big of a help.
Right. I think that some of the things that we've been seeing, like in Hawkeye, in No Way Home, obviously they're kind of both around Christmas time. Shout out to our Christmas podcasters, Jerry and Anthony. But it's like, I think a lot of these things are happening concurrently.
Yeah.
So it's like, Sam is not yet the new Cap. So he's not there to call.
But even then, that's not like one guy that Strange needs to call. He doesn't need Sam.
Right.
He doesn't need Bucky.
Right.
He doesn't need Hawkeye. I'm sure if he had like maybe a Hulk or Cap or Iron Man
or someone with like a Thor, maybe a Ghost Rider, somebody
Spider-Man,
with some powers outside of.
Well, yeah, I don't even think. I think the spell worked on him too, about how he doesn't even know Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he mentioned Spider-Man. He goes, "Yeah, the multiverse. We just had an issue with Spider-Man."
But I don't think he knows Spider-Man. Who he is, though.
No,
right?
No, yeah, because he supposedly worked on him too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's not really a whole lot to pick from the group, that could really.
But
help
again,
him.
too, it also
really help him.
It lends to the arrogance of Strange. They kind of joke about it. He didn't even want to bow to Wong at first. Later, he eventually bows to the Sorcerer Supreme.
It's kind of like, okay, you got like maybe 6 friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you need a basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to pick some of the best ones. So maybe you're going to leave out maybe your best friend when you're picking the teams. You're going to be like, okay, well, I want you and you. You know?
Yeah, sure.
So I mean, that's kind of like the way he's probably seen it with the Avengers. Well, Hawkeye's not going to help me.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam, Bucky, those guys aren't going to help me.
There's certain realms where there's certain circles that they run in, and you need people. He could have used Captain Marvel. He could have used her.
But where's she?
Who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like he can just remember the pager. That's like Nick Fury.
Right. Right.
So I mean, it's not like he can he has all of them on the fucking cell phone. Like, hey man, I need your help. Tony's dead. Tony probably would have been the one he probably would have caught on, maybe.
And even then, though, that's like that's not really Tony's kind of realm.
He probably could have used maybe his thoughts, like,
sure,
hey, where do you think we should go?
Sure. Or when you have these kind of multiversal things happening, what could you do? Whatever. Shit, he could have been better off with Loki. I mean, Loki would have been somewhere.
But then Loki's like outside of time.
Yeah, right now.
And apparently he has his own thing going on. Remember, at the end of Loki, his universe is not where he was at.
Right.
He's looking at where King is to conquer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
So I mean, it's kind of different.
Let's see here. After
Jerry says the Thor corpse. And then he goes, yeah, I mean, the 2015 Secret Wars would be so rad. Okay.
Oh yeah, nice.
Okay. Corey says, do wish there was more Defender Strange and Illuminati. There is a theory though about Illuminati being brought back, but I don't want to get my hopes up. In theory, doesn't happen.
Right.
Seems like there's not. Jerry says seems like there's not really an Avengers. I don't think there is.
We're getting there slowly. It seems like.
Jerry says we don't know how long after WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness takes
Right,
place.
right.
And no, he doesn't know Peter is Spidey.
Yeah, I got that too from the movie.
Corey though, he knows Spider-Man, just not the Parker. Is Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah, it seemed like they were pretty clear on that part.
Then Jerry says it's like Batman and Crisis on Infinite Earths didn't have a huge role.
Yeah.
You know,
it's kind of like you're out of your league sometimes with certain things, whatever.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, I think we feel like the new Avengers is going to be. Excuse me. You know, we've got Sam as Cap. Maybe Strange is the Iron Man.
It seemed like he would have to be because it's like Shuri's going to be taking over Black Panther.
Yeah,
Sam, Bucky, maybe Brie Larson coming back. I don't know. It seems like there's all these Captain Marvels now all of a sudden.
And Ms. Marvel obviously is going to be a show, and then we've
so
got,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know where she's going to fit in now.
Yeah, the new Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, and the new Black Widow in Yelena Belova. So I mean, like it's kind of like we see there's a lot of people out there that can form a team, and then we're supposed to get back. Maybe we're going to get. How do you incorporate Daredevil into that? Do you incorporate the Punisher? Are all those characters coming back? And if they are they going to be a part of this somehow? I remember for the long time, the new Avengers was like Wolverine was on there, Spider-Man was on there, Luke Cage was on there. I think Jessica Jones too. I think what I mean.
Probably.
So there's room for that stuff. Jerry says Corey exactly regarding the Peter Parker statement. So. A lot of great stuff.
Jerry says hope to see Young Avengers, but it does seem like they're setting up legacy heroes on the main Avengers team instead.
Right. Like maybe like a mix. Yeah, I mean, I think to call them Young Avengers wouldn't make a lot of sense in this world, but just like maybe the New Avengers. Well, they did have the New Avengers book for a while.
And that's the thing too. I think in Young Avengers, Iron Lad was another version of King.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and that too. We also saw that in Falcon and Winter Soldier was the nephew of Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Yes.
Who becomes Patriot.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's you're even going even further down the line, like one removed because we're barely getting Sam as Cap to move that further down. Jessica Jones was briefly an Avenger on the New Avengers, right? I thought I remembered that. Jerry, thank you for that.
It seems like most of you really enjoyed Strange for what it was. I mean, it's not really, like I said, I don't think it's the worst Marvel movie. I think there are definitely worse ones out there.
And I don't think it's bottom tier Marvel at all.
I don't think so either. All. It's like Jerry had actually posted something really great on the group chat where he was like, it's something like Doctor Strange really didn't meet my expectations. And it showed like the expectations. It was like all the Marvel movies before the MCU, it's
right.
Yeah.
I love that too, man. Like I said, I always see stuff like that when people have like they go in thinking it's like, oh, it's gonna just be this cameo laden movie, you know what I mean? Like, and it gave us quite a bit.
Yeah, and I think Spider-Man, maybe No Way Home, maybe it spoiled people too much.
I mean, but this was kind of like, in my opinion, I
was fine.
Fan service. I was like,
Mr. Fantastic, Black Bolt, Xavier. I was like, damn, those three alone were just like. I fucking popped. I mean,
again, like, if you don't have that scene, it's like, it's still good.
It's good, but man,
because him and Wanda is good.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, but it's like it's a lot juicier with that in there. You're like, damn.
It's like you said, it's a great steak, but great steak with sides now.
And that Illuminati chunk is like fucking dessert,
baked potato.
Yeah. Oh yeah, or that with fully loaded baked potato.
Jerry says it's funny. Despite Bendis' dialogue, I really enjoyed the New Avengers. Yeah, Bendis can be very, very wordy.
Yeah, lots of stuff to read. Jerry also says, would love to see Spidey, Luke Cage, Strange movie all together. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Maybe eventually it will.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. Because it seems like they're doing a lot of great things.
I would just love to see a Defenders movie. Strange, Surfer, Namor, Hulk.
That'd be awesome. Very awesome.
One of the most powerful teams that I can ever think of.
Oh yeah,
like, golly, those are like three sevens plus the Master of Mystic Arts. Like, golly, you got space, you got the Mystic Realm, you got the water, you got the land. I mean,
what situation are they in where you're not covered? You know what I mean? So it's a great team. Jerry, Defenders, yes, absolutely, man. I'm telling you. We were just seeing me and Double A recently that the new Fantastic Four were gonna reemerge.
Yeah, they're making a comic of those guys again.
Wolverine, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and of course the Gray Hulk. Joe Fix-It, right?
Yeah.
Word says, where are you reading other comments? Words, we also are streaming on Facebook via our Facebook page called Just Another Friday Night. Please go and like. And also via Facebook, our Facebook group called The Friday Night Faithful. We stream on those two and YouTube at the same time simultaneously because we get the majority of our commenters and viewers come from our Facebook Live and our page. Primarily the group, but we're trying to bring in more of the YouTubers, man. So we hope that you'll continue to watch on YouTube. But I get the breakdown comes where people want to hear other people read other people's comments. So we do our best to try to read those as we go along live to get everyone involved in the live aspect of the podcast. So, but by all means, man, go check those out too. If you wish. I mean, again, it's there. Let's see. Jerry says, "Oh yeah, I saw that. Looking forward to it." Was that the new Fantastic Four? The new Fantastic Four returning, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. The art looks awesome too, Jerry. So we can't wait for that. But shit, Double A, I really don't have a lot more else to say. We're keeping this one tight, just like Doctor Strange and I kept saying and the Multiverse of Madness. It's in the Multiverse of Madness. It was a tight movie.
I loved it.
Fine,
I loved it a lot. Yeah.
I hope that we get that whole 40 minutes in the Blu-ray. Or the 4K version or whatever, and we'll get to enjoy that, and it'll be great. And it'll be one of those things where we say, man, why did they leave that out? You know what I mean? But it's still going to be fun to watch, and it still doesn't mean that it did not happen. It's just we didn't see it on screen, you know what I mean? So, who knows? I mean, like, I hope it's not just a bunch of gratuitous cameos, because you can do it too much. One of the things Jerry did say consistently, Jerry, and I don't want to steal words out of your mouth, but he was like, I could have dealt with seeing a little bit more multiverse. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, I could have dealt with that too. You know what I mean? Like, more multiverse would have been good.
Hurt Word says, I found one of his kids annoying. No offense.
Damn. I mean, hey, they're not for everybody, man. Sometimes kid actors. Yeah, man, no doubt. I mean, hey, speak your truth, brother. I mean, that's where that's or sister words. I don't know. I don't want to assume or offend. Of course, sorry guys, I got to go again, but sometime tomorrow I'll watch and chime in. I will say the fact that
Mordo is Sorcerer Supreme in that universe and probably has Time Stone.
Yeah, hey man, we kind of joked about Mordo too being a real like kind of like the chump of the Illuminati in that universe. Can open up a lot. Yeah, if he has the Time Stone, certainly does. Shit, guys, it's been a great show, man. Loved all the comments. Obviously, again, a very engaging movie that had people thinking a lot of things or whatever, good or bad, despite, a cameo fucking buffet that I loved. I'll go to that buffet again. Is that the Sizzler? Because if it is, I'll go there. Or Golden Corral, what have you. You know what I mean? Fuck. Send me back. You know what I mean? And Jerry also says on the way out, the original beginning of the film was Wanda decapitating Mordo. No problems with that. He really pissed me off in this movie. I was like, man,
Mordo.
You blow, Mordo. But Double A, do you have any final thoughts regarding?
No, it's a really good movie, and I want to see it again. So
yeah, me too. If anybody wants to go watch, Joe, any of you guys out there that are here in San Antonio with us and want to go watch another viewing of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, hit up your boys from Just Another Friday Night. Would love to do that with you. Yeah, I gotta say the same thing, man. It was great. I loved it. Again, my two big criteria I give any movie is, would I buy it? Yes, I would buy a physical copy of it. And would I go see it again in theaters? Yes, I would go see this again in theaters. So I cannot go no higher than that. If you want to go 1 out of 10, I give it an 8. Jerry says, later, Gators. Later, Jerry. We really appreciate you being here, brother. Always bringing the great, deep knowledge.
Sierra's favorite, Steven.
Yeah, man. Steven, Grant. Of the Moon Knight fame. So yeah, no Moon Knight in this movie. Latest Gators, that's right. Man, and great job too, Double A, man, on all the Moon Knight posts this week. They are awesome. I loved you mixing in the comic book stuff with the live action stuff. We got to see that really got me hype for some Moon Knight. Right now, guys, if you're not already a part of the Invincible Comics and More comic book group, go and join that. Chris Rizzo has a great Claim Now auction going on, man. He's got some Doctor Strange books in there, some Wanda books in there, some Moon Knight books in there. He's got some cool shit that you could go and bid on right now. He had a great J. Scott Campbell cover of Clea, you know, the new Sorcerer Supreme currently in Marvel Comics. So go out there and give him some support. Joe, who chimed in tonight, go check out his podcast with Lucky the Dork Dad. It's called Now Watch This. They're doing great stuff. And in their last episode, they had some beef with us. Mainly what? Joe. Mainly Joe had beef with me is what it really was. It's good stuff anyway. Joe basically went on and on about how much he really loved AEW wrestling and that he wished CM Punk was the champ of both wrestlings. But I don't know, that's what he said. If you want to hear us winning some awards, go check out Totally Rad Christmas with Jerry Davila, who chimed in a multitude of times tonight to our graciousness. We loved it, and he hosts a show again called Totally Rad Christmas about all things rad Christmas in the '80s, and the award show he has within that show, the Raddies, where CM Chuck right here took home 4 of them bad boys. So and as a duo here, we took home together a very nice one for our Thundercats episode with Jerry D. Go check out that great show. Anthony, who also commented early on, does another wonderful Christmas themed podcast called Tis the Podcast. But if you check out their Patreon for only $1, you can also hear them talk about everything under the sun that ain't Christmas. They just did a Doctor Strange episode too, and you can hear me on there talking about them with the Spider-Man No Way Home. In my opinion, a Christmas movie. Their Hawkeye episode is also great, featuring Jerry D. But do you have anything else, Double A?
No.
All right, guys. Well,
have a good weekend, guys.
Yeah, have a great weekend. We'll be out horroring it up tomorrow. Not whoring it up. We won't be whoring it up. Double A and I won't be whoring it up. You know, me and Double A will both be with our significant others. We will be at the Pika Pika, located off of Southwest Military, seeing all the horror booths there. Again, we're doing this because we couldn't wait to talk Doctor Strange, but also for a friend of the show and fellow alumni of the show, Foxy Roxy. She wants to go do, she loves Friday the 13th and loves horror themed stuff. And we do too. So yeah, that's what we've got in October. We go horror the whole month. So if you want to go back, listen to back episodes, those are there for you. Tell us what we missed. Tell us what we got wrong. We love that. But if there's nothing else, Double A. Again, guys, R.I.P. to the great George Perez, one of the all-time great artists.
Yeah, and, another one gone, so it sucks.
Yeah, and then again, our love, thoughts, and prayers to the Liefeld family. Thank you, Rob Liefeld, for being here in San Antonio, and Dragon's Lair for hosting that wonderful event. Something we like to say at the end of every show, guys, is that if there's something that you want to do, a hope, a dream, something that you wish to accomplish, go out and do it, guys. Waste no time. Seize the day. Do you want to traverse the multiverse? Do you want to seek out your lost children, no matter what the cost? Double A. Do like Wanda. Seize the day. She certainly didn't waste any time. And the other thing we like to say at the end of every show is that sometimes in order to do that, in order to seize the day, you have to do whatever it takes. Captain America reminded us in Endgame. Going back in time, we got to do this right. We got to get it right. We got to do whatever it takes to get it right. Wanda certainly did. She was willing to go to do whatever it takes. Yeah, she tried, and ultimately it was defeated herself. I would not say anybody defeated her, Double A. She defeated herself. It was self. What do they call that? Emaciation, whatever they call that. But yeah, guys, do whatever it takes. Seize the day. Those are the mottos of us here at Just Another Friday Night. I have been one of your two hosts, CM Chuck.
Double A.
Guys, we will see you next week on Friday. The multiverse won't be all wonky. We won't be, mixed names. It won't be Dose Adam and shit, who was I? CM Charles. You know what I mean? So we'll see you guys back here next week on Friday, I think, with a special guest.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. We're hoping so. But we got a great topic for you guys. You guys aren't going to want to miss this one. So, guys, you all have a good night. Stay safe. And we'll see you next week. Good night.